You have to give the guitar after the game. 1-1-1. 20 we have.
You want to take it for that?
Those two.
Ako lang ang matindot ah.
Right.
Yes, Lavia. Lavia to present the same thing.
Yeah, you can be here. May not give the kid to our other way.
بكم في كلية مسقط.
شوفوا مكان. هناك هناك عشان تاخذ طاولات. الحمد لله.
Hindi mong gana.
وهذا نسيت اسمه
كذا ريليشن شيب في حاجه كونكشن كيمستري دايركت
أسنى.
أنا هم ما الكريم بيان ترى. لا هذا ولا هذا أنا.
أيوة أيوة أيوة.
Special meeting you might
No, who put full auto, please. Nobody put full auto. That's it. I don't want full auto. Make sure about the settings.
مرحبا بكم في كلية مسقط. تأسست كلية مسقط عام 1900 بدأت عامها الدراسي الأول في عام 1997 وكان للكلية حرم مبدئي في مبنى متعدد الطوابق في روي عام 2004 ومنذ عام 2004 انتقلت الكلية إلى حرم جامعي أنشئ لهذا الغرض في مدينة مشهد وتخضع الكلية لإشراف وزارة التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي والابتكار. لقد طورنا هذه المؤسسة التعليمية الخاصة منذ عامها الدراسي الأول ليشارك الجميع مواكبة النهضة المجيدة وبهذا نتشرف بالمساهمة في مسيرة العلم والتعليم في سلطنة عمان الغالية وصور تعكس حرص الجميع على العناية بهذا القطاع التعليمي ورفعه بكافة الطاقات والقدرات التي ترتقي به كما جاء في قول صاحب الجلالة السلطان هيثم بن طارق حفظه الله ورعاه إن الاهتمام بقطاع التعليم بمختلف أنواعه ومستوياته وتوفير البيئة الداعمة والمحفزة للبحث العلمي والابتكار سوف يكون في سلم أولوياتنا الوطنية وسنمده بكافة أسباب التمكين باعتباره الأساس الذي من خلاله سيتمكن أبناؤنا من الإسهام في بناء متطلبات المرحلة المقبلة ابتداء من دائرة القبول والتسجيل التي تعتبر همزة الوصل التي تربط الطالب بالكلية وتجيب على جميع استفساراتهم ابتداء من قبوله وانتهاء بالتخرج. المكتبة وتبلغ مساحتها 727 متر مربع وتستوعب حوالي 100 طالب وتعتبر احتضان المواهب الطلابية المتنوعة والتي تسعى من خلالها إلى تشكيل نخبة طلابية تمتلك مهارات فكرية وإبداعية في مجال الإعلام. دائرة شؤون الطلبة ومتابعة الخريجين هي المرجع لجميع الطلبة ومنها دعم ومتابعة الطلبة والخريجين من خلال تقديم النصح والمساعدة لتجاوز الصعاب التي تواجههم من خلال علاقاتهم مع زملائهم وإدارة الكلية والأكاديميين. ويأتي مركز البحوث في كلية مسقط ضمن رؤية وزارة التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي والابتكار في دعم إنشاء مراكز للبحوث في مؤسسات التعليم العالي خطوة هامة وإحدى الركائز المهمة التي تستقطب البحوث والمشاريع والابتكارات. قسم المالية وهو القسم المهتم بتقديم خدماته المالية لجميع الدارسين على نفقة الوزارة والشركات والدارسين على نفقتهم الخاصة. دائرة الدعم التقني ويقوم القسم بتوفير الخدمات التقنية لجميع الطلبة والموظفين. وقد كانت الكلية من أوائل الكليات التي اعتمدت التعلم عن بعد في ظل جائحة كوفيد-19. قسم الأعمال ويضم التخصصات التالية: ماجستير العلوم في الإدارة إدارة المشاريع، إدارة الموارد البشرية، دراسات الأعمال، المحاسبة، قسم الحاسب الآلي، ويضم التخصصات التالية: ماجستير علوم البيانات الضخمة، هندسة البرمجيات، علوم الحاسب الآلي، نظم الحاسوب والشبكات، برمجة الحاسب الآلي، نظم الحاسب الآلي. مرافق الكلية: البرزة، قاعات الطلاب، الصالة الرياضية المغلقة، الملعب المعشق. فدراستك الجامعية في كلية مسقط لن تكون تجربة أو مغامرة، فهي راسخة وناتج خبرات 25 سنة من التعليم العالي. أهلا بكم في كلية مسقط.
I have no time here. That, go.
Your name is
كملت كده؟ اه استنى
No, go sit.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. بس ما حدا يعمل
مرحبا بكم في كلية مسقط. تأسست كلية مسقط عام 1996 برئاسة الشيخ أحمد بن عبد الله الغزالي مؤسس ورئيس كلية مسقط، وتعتبر الكلية واحدة من أولى مؤسسات التعليم العالي الخاصة، وواحدة من الكليات الرائدة في سلطنة عمان التي بدأت بالتدريس الجامعي الأولي لدرجة البكالوريوس على مستوى مرتبة الشرف. تأسست الكلية عام 1996 وبدأت عامها الدراسي الأول في عام 1997، وكان للكلية حرم مبدئي بمبنى متعدد الطوابق في روي عام 2004، ومنذ عام 2004 انتقلت الكلية إلى حرم جامعي أنشئ لهذا الغرض في مدينة بوشا، وتخضع الكلية لإشراف وزارة التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي والابتكار. لقد طورنا هذه المؤسسة التعليمية الخاصة منذ عامها الدراسي الأول، وشارك الجميع مواكبة النهضة المجيدة، وبهذا نتشرف بالمساهمة في مسيرة العلم والتعليم في سلطنة عمان الغالية، وصور تعكس حرص الجميع على العناية بهذا القطاع التعليمي ورفعه بكافة الطاقات والقدرات التي ترتقي به. كما جاء في قول صاحب الجلالة السلطان هيثم بن طارق حفظه الله ورعاه، إن الاهتمام بقطاع التعليم بمختلف أنواعه ومستوياته وتوفير البيئة الداعمة والمحفزة للبحث العلمي والابتكار سوف يكون في سلم أولوياتنا الوطنية، وسنكون بكافة أسباب التمكين باعتباره الأساس الذي من خلاله سيتمكن أبناؤنا من الإسهام في بناء متطلبات المرحلة المقبلة، ابتداء من دائرة القبول والتسجيل التي تعتبر همزة الوصل التي تربط الطالب بالكلية وتجيب على جميع استفساراتهم ابتداء من قبولهم وانتهاء بالتخرج. المكتبة وتبلغ مساحتها 727 متر مربع، تستوعب حوالي 100 طالب وتعتبر المكان المناسب للطلبة للمذاكرة، وتحتوي المكتبة على أكثر من 8000 كتاب ومجلة علمية ووسائل تعليمية أخرى عبر الإنترنت من خلال موقع المصادر والمدن. ونهدف لتحقيق الاستفادة القصوى لجميع منتدي المكتبة من الطلبة والموظفين والأكاديميين والمجتمع العماني. ويأتي المركز الإعلامي الطلابي ضمن جهود الوزارة الداعمة لمؤسسات التعليم العالي لاحتضان المواهب الطلابية المتنوعة، والتي تسعى من خلالها إلى تشكيل نخبة طلابية ومتابعة الطلبة والخريجين من خلال تقديم النصح والمساعدة لتجاوز الصعاب التي تواجههم من خلال علاقاتهم مع زملائهم وإدارة الكلية والأكاديميين. ويأتي مركز البحوث في كلية مسقط ضمن رؤية وزارة التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي والابتكار في دعم إنشاء مراكز للبحوث في مؤسسات التعليم العالي، خطوة هامة وإحدى الركائز المهمة التي تستقطب البحوث والمشاريع والابتكارات. قسم المالية والقسم المتنفذ للخدمات المالية لجميع الدارسين على نفقة الوزارة والشركات والدارسين على النفقات الخاصة. هيئة الدعم التقني يقوم القسم بتوفير الخدمات التقنية لجميع الطلبة والموظفين. وقد كانت الكلية من أوائل الكليات التي اعتمدت التعلم عن بعد في ظل جائحة كوفيد-19. قسم الأعمال ويضم التخصصات التالية ماجستير علوم في البيانات الضخمة، هندسة البرمجيات، علوم الحاسب الآلي، علوم الحاسوب والشبكات، برمجة الحاسب الآلي، علوم الحاسب الآلي. مرافق الكلية، البرزة، قاعات الطلاب، الصالة الرياضية المغلقة، الملعب المعشر. فدراستك الجامعية في كلية مسقط لم تكن تجربة أو مغامرة، فهي راسخة وناتج خبرات 25 سنة من التعليم العالي. أهلا بكم في كلية مسقط.
Sorry, the third paper. Hello, how are you?
He's the president. Come. Did you get that?
Can we take his friend's birthday? His friend's birthday.
He's on the already decided that.
في كلية مصر منذ تأسيسها عام 1939. الكلية وحدت مكانتها كأحد المؤسسات التعليمية الرائدة. توفر الكلية مجموعة من البرامج الأكاديمية المتنوعة وطاقم تدريس يساعدك للوصول إلى إمكانياتك القصوى، كما أن الكلية مرتبطة أكاديميا بجامعات دولية مرموقة. الكلية مجهزة بمجموعة من المرافق المتميزة والتي تعد لكرة القدم وصالات رياضية مجهزة بالكامل، كما يوجد بها مختبرات حاسوب متقدمة مجهزة بأحدث التقنيات والبرمجيات. كما تحمل الكلية مجموعة واسعة من البرامج الأكاديمية لتلبية اهتماماتك وأهدافك الوظيفية. برامجنا مصممة لتجهيزك بالمهارات والمعرفة اللازمة لتحقيق التفوق في سوق العمل العماني والعربي مع مدافعة الحديثة والبرامج الأكاديمية الشاملة. نحن نقدم البيئة المثلى للنجاح. ماذا تنتظر؟ انضم إلينا اليوم وكن جزءا من مجتمعنا الأكاديمي المتنوع والمزدهر. كلية مسقط حيث يبدأ المستقبل.
You only smile at your choice, not another. Paper 59. You send a single drawing to your kids about it. Did you send the presentation to? You have a USB or mail? You have a mail or a USB? Okay.
عمان الغالية، وصوره تعكس حرص الجميع على العناية بهذا القطاع التعليمي ورفضه بكافة الطاقات والقدرات التي ترتقي به. كما جاء في قول صاحب الجلالة السلطان هيثم بن طارق حفظه الله ورعاه: إن الاهتمام بقطاع التعليم بمختلف أنواعه ومستوياته وتوفير البيئة الداعمة والمحفزة للبحث العلمي والابتكار سوف يكون في سلم أولوياتنا الوطنية، وسنرده بكافة أسباب التمكين باعتباره الأساس الذي من خلاله سيتمكن أبناؤنا من الإسهام في بناء متطلبات المرحلة المقبلة، ابتداء من دائرة القبول والتسجيل التي تعتبر همزة الوصل التي تربط الطالب بالكلية وتجيب على جميع استفساراتهم ابتداء من قبوله وانتهاء بالتخرج. المكتبة وتبلغ مساحتها 727 متر مربع، وتستوعب حوالي 100 طالب من 8000 كتاب ومجلة علمية وسائل تعليمية أخرى عبر الإنترنت من خلال موقع المصادر والمدرب. ونهدف لتحقيق الاستفادة القصوى لجميع منتجي المكتبة من الطلبة والموظفين والأكاديميين والمجتمع العماني. ويأتي المركز الإعلامي الطلابي ضمن جهود الوزارة الداعم لمؤسسات التعليم العالي ومراكز للبحوث بمؤسسات التعليم العالي، خطوة هامة وإحدى الركائز المهمة التي تستقطب البحوث والمشاريع والابتكارات. قسم المالية وهو القسم المهتم بتقديم خدماته المالية لجميع الدارسين على نفقة الوزارة والشركات والدارسين على نفقتهم الخاصة. دائرة الدعم التقني ويقوم القسم بتوفير الخدمات التقنية لجميع الطلبة.
Your Excellency, Professor Rahma Al-Mahrooqi, Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation, the patron of this conference. Sheikh Dr. Ghalib Al-Hosni, Chairperson of the Board of Trustees of Muscat College, the conference guest of honor. Distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, sponsors, and participants, good morning. Welcome to the proceeding of the first day of the International Conference of Technologies for Education and Management, organized by Muscat College, in collaboration with MADA Centre, Qatar. It is an honor to have you all here today as we explore the transformative role of technology in shaping the future, education, and management. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our chief guest of honor. Sheikh Dr. Ghalib Al-Hosni is a pioneering leader in the Middle East in the field of human resources and corporate management. He is the Chief People Officer at Omantel. He is a business-focused professional with over 25 years of experience in telecommunication industry, leading significant institutional strategic change. Dr. Ghalib holds a leadership role at different boards and societies, such as CEO of Omani Society for Human Resource Management, as we all know it, OSHRM, and board members of the International Federation of Training and Development Organization and the Arabian Society for Human Resource Management. It is now my privilege to invite our chief guest of honor, Sheikh Dr. Ghalib Al-Hosni, chairperson of the Board of Trustees, Muscat College, to deliver the welcoming address.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Excellency, Prof. Rahma Al-Mahrooqi, Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation. The distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this conference marks Muscat College efforts to lead in digitalization and contribute to Oman's knowledge-based economy. We have established a new academic partnership with one of the leading universities in UK, University of Westminster, enabling us to offer innovation programs that integrate technology across various disciplines. Our bachelor degree with honors in digital business is central to our strategy for academic and beyond. The curriculum covers e-commerce, digital marketing, data analytics, and artificial intelligence, preparing students for the modern digital economy. Recognizing the growing need for proficient data analysts, we now offer a bachelor in science and data analytics with honors. Given today's digital threats, there is a high demand for cybersecurity experts. Our Master in Cybersecurity equips students to protect digital assets effectively. In response to the global and local threats toward green technology and innovation, we are introducing master degree in sustainability, management, and innovation. This aligns with His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq visions for sustainable development, balancing economic growth with environmental and social well-being. I'm glad also to share that the college is going ahead toward exploring and offering more technology-based programs that will be offered for the first time in the Middle East and will be a new milestones toward bridging the skills gaps on the technology sectors by providing a well-skilled graduate equipped with the latest technical skills and knowledge required to effectively contribute to the economy. I would like to thank Your Highness for the support that you have given to all higher education institutes Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, and wishing everyone here an enjoyable conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sheikh Dr. Ghalib, for your inspiring words and for setting the orientation for this remarkable event. Next, we have the honor of hearing from Ms. Amani El-Tamimi, Digital Accessibility Program Manager at MADA Assistive Technology Center, Qatar, who will offer her facilitations. Ms. Amani El-Tamimi is an expert in leading with over 23 years of experience in realizing the strategic visions of organizations and enhancing their compatibility. She has an impressive track record in strategic planning, policy development, leading innovation, and research projects in the fields of digital accessibility and assistive technology. She held leadership roles in esteemed organizations such as Qatar Foundation and the Foundation for Combating Human Trafficking. Ms. Amani, the floor is yours. Please join me.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. معالي الدكتورة رحمة بنت إبراهيم المحروقية، وزير التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي والابتكار الموقرة، الشيخ الدكتور غالب بن سيف الحوسني، رئيس مجلس الأمناء كلية مسقط، أصحاب السعادة والمعالي، السيدات والسادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يسرني ويشرفني اليوم أن أكون بينكم في هذا المحفل العلمي المتميز، المؤتمر الدولي للتقنيات في التعليم والإدارة، والذي تنظمه كلية مسقط بالشراكة مع مركز التكنولوجيا المساعدة مدى بدولة قطر. كما أتوجه بخالص الشكر والتقدير لمعالي الوزيرة على دعمها ورعايتها لهذا الحدث البارز الذي يجسد التزامنا المشترك في الدولتين نحو تعزيز الابتكار الرقمي وتوظيف التكنولوجيا القابلة للنفاذ في قطاعات التعليم والإدارة. السيدات والسادة، في ظل التحولات الرقمية المتسارعة، أصبح دمج التكنولوجيا في القطاعات الحيوية ضرورة ملحة لتحقيق بيئات شاملة ومستدامة. ومن هذا المنطلق تتبنى دولة قطر نهجاً شاملاً لضمان إدماج الأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة في كافة القطاعات والاستثمار في البحث العلمي والابتكار المعزز لهذا المجال. ويساهم مركز مدى على دعم تطوير الحلول المبتكرة للتكنولوجيا المساعدة والنفاذ الرقمي لضمان وصول كافة الأفراد بما فيهم الأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة إلى فرص التعلم والمشاركة الفاعلة في قطاعات المجتمع كافة. لقد أطلق مركز مدى العديد من المبادرات الاستراتيجية، وفي مقدمتها تحالف مدى إج البحثي الدولي، والذي يعد الأول من نوعه، يجمع نخبة من الخبراء والباحثين من مختلف دول العالم لتعزيز البحث والابتكار في مجال النفاذ الرقمي، إضافة إلى برنامج مدى للابتكار الذي يحفز تطوير الحلول والابتكارات القابلة للنفاذ باللغة العربية لتعزيز الشمولية ودعم استقلالية الأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة وضمان تكافؤ الوصول إلى جميع الخدمات ووسائل المعرفة. الحضور الكريم، إن شراكتنا الاستراتيجية مع كلية مسقط في هذا المؤتمر تعكس رؤيتنا المشتركة نحو بناء مستقبل تعليمي أكثر شمولاً وتمكيناً، حيث يمكن للتكنولوجيا القابلة للنفاذ أن تسهم في تحسين كفاءة العمليات الإدارية والتعليمية ودعم اتخاذ القرارات المبنية على البيانات والتعلم التكيفي الذي يراعي احتياجات كل فرد ويدعم تمكينه. ومن هنا ندعو كافة المؤسسات والجهات إلى تبني استراتيجيات رقمية توفر الفرص المتساوية للجميع وتدعم الشمولية الشمولية من خلال تبادل الخبرات والتجارب والخروج بتوصيات تساهم في تشكيل مستقبل التعليم والإدارة في عالمنا العربي. ختاماً أتقدم بجزيل الشكر والتقدير إلى كلية مسقط على تنظيم هذا الحدث وإلى جميع المشاركين من مختلف الدول والتخصصات، ونتطلع أن يكون هذا المؤتمر منصة لانطلاقة جديدة نحو بيئات تعليمية وإدارية أكثر تطوراً وابتكاراً وشمولية. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you, Ms. Amani, for your inspiring, encouraging, and kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the inauguration of the conference. To officially inaugurate this event, we are truly privileged to have with us a visionary leader whose unwavering commitment to higher education has transformed institutions, empowered students, and shaped the future of higher education and research in Oman. Her Excellency, Professor Rahma Ibrahim Al-Mahrooqi, Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation. Your Excellency, we are honored by you today and your presence. May I now kindly request you to officially inaugurate this international conference.
Of course, I'm delighted to be here. And of course, now we officially inaugurate the conference.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for gracing us with your presence and for officially inaugurating the Conference of Technologies and Education and Management. Your support is invaluable to the advancement of education, research, and innovation in Oman. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to now our second keynote speech. In a world where technology is reshaping every aspect of our lives, the potential of artificial intelligence is the bridge to gaps, creating opportunities for individuals with disability is immense. Our next keynote speaker is a renowned expert in research and innovation in this field. He is an ICT access researcher specialist with over a decade of experience in technology and accessibility. Since 2019, he has affiliated with MADA Centre in Qatar, where he focuses on enhancing ICT accessibility for people with disabilities. He was a project manager at Arab League Educational Culture and Scientific Organization. Dr. Osama's insights today will shed light on how AI-driven assistive technology can foster inclusive and empower learning of all abilities. In his presentation, he will be speaking on a topic that is both timely and transformative, empowering inclusive education, the role of AI-assistive technology for people with disabilities. Please welcome Dr. Osama Al-Ghoul.
First of all, I would like to thank Muscat College and the Program Committee and Organization Committee for this conference, that giving me the opportunity today to be with you and present this interesting topic about accessibility of people with disability to education and how AI can improve the accessibility of people with disability to the education sector. So I will start, first of all, yes. I will start, first of all, by introducing MADA Centre. MADA Centre is a non-profit institution founded in Qatar in 2010, and our main focus is to provide and ameliorate the quality of life of people with disability using assistive technology and accessibility. So my presentation, at the beginning, I will start by presenting the type of disability, the main type of disability. We have three main types of disability: physical disability, sensorial disability, and cognitive disability. And I presented today some famous person that almost of you know that this person. All of them, they have some kind of disability, and they excelled on their domain of expertise. I will start from the left. The left one is Stephen Hawking, who is a researcher on physics, and he was nominated to obtain a Nobel Prize on physics, but unfortunately he didn't get it. The second one is Abraham Nemet. Abraham Nemet is a researcher on MIT University, and he's blind, and he's the inventor of mathematics, how to notate mathematics in Braille notation system. The third one is Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison have a hearing disability. And then Bill Clinton, the president of United States, he has also a hearing disability, and he was hard of hearing because he always liked hard rock music, and he lost some capability to hear because of reaching some very hard music. The fifth one is Beethoven. Beethoven play music, and during his last symphony, he was unable to hear the audience applauding. The last one is Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise have cognitive disability, and he have dyslexia, some difficulty on reading text. So the idea from this is to say that if we give good inclusive education for people with disability, people with disability can excel in their domain and can contribute on the development of the society. So I will skip the slides because of the time, and I will go directly to showing you a use case of assistive technology and how can people use assistive technology in education. I will start by this example. This guy is a student, and he was unable to reach the school. Why? Because he have allergy, and when he go to school, there is a risk in his life because of the severe allergy. So the solution is to use a robot, and the robot go instead of him to the school, and he, as you can see, he can interact with his colleague at the school. He can also interact with the teacher, and he can do exercises from his home like he's at the school. You can see here, even in the queue, the robot can take the cue, and the teacher here is moving the robot. Then next, I will show you some assistive technology that are based on AI and that help people with disability to have a good life. So here, the first example. The first example is an artificial smart prosthesis, and this prosthesis is based mainly on AI. The system can detect electromyographic signal of the muscle activity, and then the AI can automatically recognize that signal, and it can control the prosthesis to do some action, and for example, take a cap or press a button and so on. Another example for people who have a physical disability. This guy is due to an accident. He lost the capability to move his hand, and he's still more than 5 years unable to move his hand. Here, after accepting to implant a chip inside his head, the chip can detect the brain activity, and then they use an AI system, an AI model, to recognize the brain activity and convert that signal to a signal transmitted automatically to the muscle, and that signal can control the muscle activity, and it can also make the muscle moving, and he can move his hand thanks to this technology. Next technology is for blind. This technology now is on the market, and we can find many brands on the market. Is smart glasses. These smart glasses contain a camera, and the camera can detect the environment and can tell the user that there is an object in front of him, can read the text, can inform him about the environment. And also in education, this glass can be used, for example, to read the text, to describe, for example, some charts or some graphic, and everything for the blind person. Now we will go to deaf person. At MADA Centre, we are working deeply as a research team. We are working on sign language translation and sign language recognition. I will show you here Muhammad. Muhammad is a project developed locally at MADA Centre. And the main aim of Muhammad is to translate written text to sign language. So many people believe that deaf people, they can't see the text. Why we need translation? According to some statistic, 80% of deaf people have difficulty on reading text. That's why automatic translation from text to sign language is very important for them. We are using here AI for the translation of Arabic text to Qatari sign language. I will show you also how Muhammad is very realistic, because we are using motion capture system to recognize the natural movement of the signer, and then we can transfer the animation from the natural person, the natural movement to Muhammad avatar. Here, a recording system at MADA studio. Here you can see the sign language interpreter, and the person who wearing the motion capture system is a deaf person, and we record the animation, the sign, and then we can animate Muhammad. We also we are working on sign language recognition, and we published a data set that contains more than 6,000 records on sign language. The data set contains true depth data with video and depth map. And this data set is published on IEEE data port. You can use this link to download the data and work on sign language recognition. So now the question, if we have assistive technology, can we have access to the information? To answer this question, I will suppose that I have a physical disability and I am using a wheelchair. And the municipality have also a policy that oblige that we have a ramp in all public area. With policy and assistive technology, the wheelchair, can I have access to all the public area? The answer is no. You can see here there is a ramp. I have a wheelchair, but I cannot access to some public area. Why? Because can you? Okay. Why? Because there is no guidelines. We need guidelines to ensure that we have access to all public areas. Same for digital accessibility here. If we have assistive technology and we have content, for example, educative content, we need guidelines to have access to the information. So I will show you some example of inaccessible website. I have here a photo of Jarir Bookstore. Here there is an information about the smartphone, the name of the smartphone, and all this information are in image, not a text information. So if I am blind and I have a screen reader, the screen reader is enabled to read the content of the image. Another example here, we have here the price, and the price there is a discount. And when we are trying to read this information using screen reader, the screen reader will read the data like that. So for blind person cannot understand why that there is a discount and what is the real price and the new price of the product. Here also another example, we have view all. So blind person, when he hear view all and view all and view all, he cannot distinguish what is the content of the link, what is the view all of the link. So for that reason, there is an international guideline developed by a World Wide Web Consortium. The guideline is WCAG 2.1 and 0.2. So at MADA, we have each 3 months, we make a study of 5,000 Arabic websites, and we make assessment of the accessibility of this website and the compliance of this website to the international guidelines. And I will show you the last results of the last month of 2024. And we evaluated 32% of the content are for education. The result shows, I will skip some slides because of the time. I will show you this one of the results is that 41% of the images on website doesn't have alternative description of the images. And even for the 56%, because we are using automatic tool to evaluate all the 5,000 websites, from the 56% of the website, some alt description is not appropriate to the content of the image. Another statistic. Here, you can see that there is a big problem. 70% of the web pages that we evaluated have a problem in color contrast. So some people with visual disability cannot have access to this content. I will go quickly. Here you can find all our publication and this report on this URL. Please feel free to access and get the full result of this study from this website. I will go quickly to how we can use AI for inclusive education. For example, it can be used for adaptive learning or personalization. So here, an example of architecture, we can get response of from the user, profile of the user, and then we can use LLM like ChatGPT and the generative diffusion model to generate text and video and image for people with disability according to the disability of the person itself. Also, AI can be used as assistive technology for people with disability, like I showed before. The last slide before the conclusion, AI also can be used for with virtual reality for education. And here at MADA, we published scientific research measuring the impact of the use of virtual reality to teach deaf person. Here we are using AI and virtual reality together to make exercises and to make learning activity for deaf person, and we measured the impact. You can find the scientific article in the same link that I shared. I will go directly to the conclusion. As conclusion, I will show you a video, a very interesting video that summarizes what I am telling about. The video is published by Apple and is very interesting video of 1 minute. Can we have sound, please? So you can show here that the editor of the video itself is a disabled person using only 2 buttons to make the video, and to use the software for making the video. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Osama, for that enlightening and thought-provoking address. Your insight into the role of AI in creating inclusive education environments have truly set the tone and the discussion ahead. Now we move on. Today's keynote speaker, Oman's Vision 2024, is a strategic roadmap that aims to transform the nation into a knowledge-based economy driven by innovation, sustainability, and global competitiveness. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Sarhan Al-Ghannami, Vice President, Educational Learning, Scientific Research, and National Compatibilities Priorities, Oman Vision 2024. Mr. Sarhan is specialized in financial analysis and strategic management. His work is based on a wide experience of working with international companies and institutions. He is currently overseeing the priority on educational learning, scientific research, and national capabilities of Oman Vision 2040. Today, he will be sharing with us all his insights on the topic of great significance to this conference and the future of education and research. National priorities of Oman Vision 2040. Let us give him a warm welcome.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أحييكم بتحية الإسلام والسلام الخالدة، فالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. معالي الدكتورة رحمة بنت إبراهيم المحروقية المحترمة، الداعم الدائم لقطاع التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي، الشيخ الدكتور غالب بن سيف الحسني المحترم، حضورنا الكريم. يشرفني اليوم أن أقف أمامكم لأعطيكم نبذة بسيطة عن رؤية عمان 2040، أولوياتها، وممكن نروح زوم إن على أولوية التعليم وعلى البحث العلمي والتطوير اللي هو موضوع حوارنا اليوم. رؤية عمان 2040 أتوقع أن الأغلبية على الأقل عارفين المحاور الأربعة اللي فيها والأولويات 12 اللي موجودة تحت المحاور الأربعة. المحور الأول اللي هو محور الإنسان والمجتمع، انتظر لحد المشكلات التقنية ممكن تنحل. محور الإنسان والمجتمع، طبعا الأولوية الأولى في محور الإنسان والمجتمع أولوية التعليم والتعلم والبحث العلمي والقدرات الوطنية، وليست عبثا أنها تكون الأولى. ودائما أنا أقول إذا صلح التعليم صلحت الرؤية وصلح كل شيء موجود فيها. الأولوية الثانية أولوية الصحة. طبعا دائما نفتخر أن هذه الرؤية بنيت على رؤية سلطانين، السلطان الراحل والسلطان هيثم بن طارق حفظه الله ورعاه. الأولويات الوطنية مثل ما أسلفنا So you will move it from there? Okay. المحاور الإنسان والمجتمع، الاقتصاد والتنمية، البيئة المستدامة والحوكمة والأداء المؤسسي. تحت الإنسان والمجتمع يوجد لدينا التعليم والتعلم والبحث العلمي والقدرات الوطنية، الصحة، المواطنة والهوية والتراث والثقافة الوطنية، وعشان كذا حتى أنا اخترت اليوم أنه يكون البرزنتيشن باللغة العربية تماشيا مع هذه الأولوية، الرفاه والحماية الاجتماعية. لدينا في الاقتصاد والتنمية القيادة والإدارة الاقتصادية، التنويع الاقتصادي والاستدامة المالية، سوق العمل والتشغيل، الشغل الشاغل هذه الأيام، القطاع الخاص والاستثمار والتعاون الدولي، وتنمية المحافظات والمدن المستدامة لأنها تأتي تحت الاقتصاد في تنمية هذه المدن. البيئة المستدامة، البيئة والموارد الطبيعية، والحوكمة والأداء المؤسسي يأتي تحتها أولويتين، التشريع والقضاء والرقابة، وحوكمة الجهاز الإداري للدولة. إذا رحنا في التفاصيل تحت أولوية التعليم نجد أن التعليم والتعلم والبحث العلمي والقدرات الوطنية لكل أولوية موجود فيها هدف استراتيجي وأهداف فرعية. فتحت التعليم والتعلم والبحث العلمي والقدرات الوطنية التوجه الاستراتيجي تعليم شامل وتعلم مستدام وبحث علمي يقود إلى مجتمع معرفي وقدرات وطنية منافسة. فالبحث العلمي حوار مؤتمرنا اليوم، البحث العلمي يتعامل معك تعامل أنه محرك للاقتصاد. في بعض الدول حاليا بدأوا حتى بإنشاء وزارات متكاملة للاقتصاد المبني على المعرفة، لأن مستقبلا وحتى في هذه الأيام صار أغلبية الاقتصاد مرتكز على البحث العلمي ونتائجه، وكيف ممكن ربط هذه البحوث اللي اليوم تطلع من طلبة الجامعات وغيرهم، كيف ممكن نربطها مع الاقتصاد، كيف ممكن يكون منها عائد هذا. وهذه التوجهات لازم تكون لكل فرد موجود في هذه المؤسسات من أكاديميين ومن طلبة. أبرز الأهداف الموجودة في هذه الأولوية نظام تعليمي عالي الجودة. الجودة مطلوبة دائما في كل مؤسسات التعليم المدرسي أو التعليم الجامعي، لأن هذه المخرجات الموجودة راح تخرج للسوق في ممكن 3 توجهات. كأن رائد أعمال، ودائما رائد أعمال لازم يطلع بجودة ممتازة، باحث عن عمل، أو موظف في قطاع حكومي وقطاع خاص، ودائما لكل هذه القطاعات دائما تنظر إلى جودة هذا المنتج اللي خرج من التعليم العالي، وكيف ممكن أنا أستفيد منه الاستفادة المثلى، أو أنه يكون أكاديمي ويستمر في مرحلة الأكاديمية، وهذه من أكثر الأشياء المطلوبة في الجودة. تعليم ممكن للقدرات البشرية. طبعا القدرات البشرية هو أكبر أسد موجود في نتاج التعليم والتعلم. مناهج تعليمية معززة للقيم والدين، وهذه في مجتمعنا لابد لنا من ربط كل المخرجات بثقافتنا بديننا للاستمرارية. ومنظومة فاعلة للبحث العلمي والابتكار اللي بنركز عليها اليوم. هذه المنظومة لازم يشتغل فيها الجميع مثل ما أسلفنا، من أفراد، من مؤسسات، من قطاعات خاصة. لابد من التكاتف في هذه المنظومة للخروج بأفضل النتائج. طبعا لكل أولوية يوجد مؤشرات دولية ومؤشرات محلية، وهذه بعض المؤشرات، ولكن في وثيقة الرؤية راح تجد كل المؤشرات المرتبطة بكل أولوية، وحتى الأهداف هذه في أبرزها أو بعضها، بس أغلبية الأهداف موجودة في الوثيقة. وأتوقع أن الأغلبية المفروض بعد مرور الحين 5 سنوات على إصدار هذه الوثيقة اطلع عليها، أو على الأقل في الجانب اللي يخصه. فمؤشر الابتكار العالمي مرتبط ارتباط كلي بالبحث العلمي والابتكار، ونحن لسنا بمنأى على العالم، فهناك شغل شاغل، وخاصة في وزارة التعليم العالي، كيف ممكن نصل إلى المستهدفات. فمستهدفنا في 2030 أن نصل من أفضل 40 دولة. ليس مستحيل، ولكن نفس الشيء ليس بتلك السهولة، يعني يحتاج تكاتف الجميع مثل ما أسلفنا. في 2040 نسعى أن نكون من أفضل 20 دولة. هناك في ترابط الأولويات في رؤية عمان 2040. فلو أخذنا 3 أولويات: التعليم والتعلم، التنويع الاقتصادي، والقطاع الخاص. التوجه الاستراتيجي تعليم مستدام مع البحث العلمي، يرفد الاقتصاد العام اللي هو التنويع الاقتصادي والاستدامة المالية، ويرفد القطاع الخاص والاستثمار الدولي. الأهداف هذه كلها مترابطة. والمؤشرات: مؤشر الابتكار، نسبة مساهمة اقتصاد المعرفة مثل ما أسلفنا، وممارسة أنشطة الأعمال الحرة. المؤشرات المستهدفة: مؤشر الابتكار مستهدفين أن نكون من أفضل 20 دولة، وصلنا 69 في 2023، في 2024 إلى 74 دولة، ونسعى أن نكون من أفضل 40 دولة في 2030. طبعا المؤشر الابتكار يوجد تقريبا 80 سب اندكس. في نتائج إيجابية جدا فيها السلطنة تقوم فيها، وفي نتائج يحتاج فيها عمل. مثلا لو نرى خريجين الهندسة، نجد أن عمان تقريبا في المركز الثاني عالميا بالنسبة إلى عدد السكان الموجودين. بس في بعض المؤشرات المستندات المفهرسة نحن في المرتبة 85. فكل بحث لكل شخص جالس يسوي بحث لازم يدرس هذا البحث، هل هذا مفيد للمجتمع اللي أنا فيه، أو هل هذا مفيد عالميا. لازم الفكر يكون حتى أنك أنت تصدر هذه البحوث ويستفاد منها عالميا. طبعا الإنفاق على البحث العلمي مهم جدا، ولكن ليس هو يعني ما دائما نقول أن الدولة اللي تصرف رقم 1 دائما هي بالمركز الأول. مثلا سويسرا عالميا، ولكنها في الترتيب في مؤشر الإنفاق هو الثامن، لكن هي الأول عالميا في مؤشر الابتكار. في مراكز الابتكار ونقل التكنولوجيا في ممكنات، وفي نفس الشيء صعوبات تواجه هذا القطاع، لكن بالعمل معا نتوقع أن ممكن نتغلب عليها. السياسات: في قوانين، لابد من إيجاد قوانين للبحث العلمي، تمكين الكوادر البشرية، إشراك القطاع الخاص، حاضنات علمية متخصصة، التكامل بين المؤسسات في مجال الحاضنات ومسرعات الأعمال. يعني ما كل واحد مثلا جالس يعمل بمنأى عن الآخر، ولكن تكون في تكاملية. موائمة المنتجات، كيف موائمتها لسوق العمل، والاستثمار والتمويل والإمكانات والبنى التحتية. طبعا هذا تقريرين للرؤية بسبب ضيق الوقت، اللي حاب يطلع عليهم. هذا التقرير اللي صدر في 2023-2024 في كل منجزات الرؤية لل5 سنوات الماضية، وهذا ملخص لأبرز الجهود اللي صارت في خلال الفترة الماضية. شكرا جزيلا لكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sarhan, for sharing your experiences and inspiring us on the national priorities of Oman Vision 2040. For the future of scientific research and education, your insights to Oman Vision 2040 have given us a deeper understanding of the transformative potential of strategic national planning and its importance of the field of education, technology, and management, and this conference is focused on. At this stage, we would like to take a moment to honor our esteemed conference partners, keynote speakers, and sponsors whose contribution have made this conference possible. We would like to invite on the stage Her Excellency, Dr. Rahma Al-Mahrooqi, Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation, the patron of our conference today. We would also like to welcome to the stage Sheikh Dr. Ghalib Al-Hosni, Chairperson of Muscat College, Board of Trustees, and the Conference Chief Guest of Honor. And also Dr. Matthew Phillip, Chairperson of the Conference Organizing Committee. We would like to recognize the valuable contribution of our conference partners, MADA Qatar, represented today by Ms. Amani Al-Tamimi, Program Manager at MADA. We would like to thank our first keynote speaker, Mr. Sarhan Al-Ghannami, for his insightful presentation on national priorities of Oman Vision 2040. We would like to extend our thanks to Dr. Osama Al-Ghul for his enlightening thoughts on empowering inclusive education, the role of AI assistance, technology for people with disabilities. We would also like to acknowledge the support we received from our sponsors, Oman Tel. We would also like to thank another sponsor, Khanjar Oasis. Finally, we would like to invite Dr. Ghalib to present a token of appreciation to our conference patron, Her Excellency Dr. Rahma Al-Mahrooqi, Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, Dr. Ghalib, and thank you, Dr. Matthew. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a short break for refreshments, networking. This is a wonderful opportunity to connect with fellow participants, exchange ideas, and build meaningful collaboration. I was your host today, Lujaina Al-Abri. Please join us back at 10:30 for session 1. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's start now, inshallah, the first session in the conference. Okay. We are honored to have the chair of this session, Professor Ali Al-Badi. Professor Ali Al-Badi is the Dean of Gulf College, Oman. Prior to this, he was the Vice Dean for Academic Affairs and Research in Gulf College. Earlier, he was the Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs and Graduate Studies in College of Economics and Political Science in Sultan Qaboos University. Actually, the contribution of Professor Ali Al-Badi is a lot. He has more than 140 published papers in peer-reviewed journals. He has hundreds of presentations in international conferences. He is the editor of many international journals, and he supervised and was external reviewer for many master and PhD degrees. Further, the contributions of Professor Ali has been extended to the quality assurance level in higher education, as he is the chair of Oman Quality Assurance Association, and is an external reviewer in Oman Academic Accreditation and Quality Assurance, or AAAQA. Let's welcome Professor Ali Al-Badi at the chair of this session, and we'll start, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to the International Conference on Technologies for Education and Management that's organized by Muscat College. We have in the first session, we will have number of presentations. Each presentation around 15 minutes. I will keep the time, so after 10 minutes or 9 minutes, I will raise my hand so that we can keep 5 minutes for the question and answer. What else? That's it. We will start with the first presentation. Actually, it's not in the first in the list, but it is the number 4, I think. By Dr. Bouchenaq. The title of the paper is Ranking Key Factors Affecting Job Market Success, Machine Learning Analysis for Digital Transformation. Without further ado, I would like to ask Bouchenaq to come and give his presentation.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Dr. Prof. Al-Badi. Thank you very much. And good day. Thank you for all being here. I'm Shannaq Boumediene from University of Brahmi, and my colleague, the Dean of Business College, Dr. Ibrahim Al-Shamsi, are going to present this work of ranking the key factors that are affecting job market. So we try here in this work to show how the AI technology can, you can align it to within your programs to help the student or to give them more opportunities for getting a job faster than is it. Okay. So basically, this is our robot designed to help the student to, let's just say, to draw or just to generate a path for each individual person based on his experience. I don't know if we will have a time. You can make also, let's just say, yes, doctor. That's okay. So actually this, as I mentioned from the beginning, we try to examine, let's just say we create an algorithm using machine learning to examine the most effective features of, let's just say, student attributes, okay, that could, help the student or the decision maker to change or to update their program so that they can give more opportunity for the graduate employability and their careers. Okay. So also the AI help us to generate industry demand index. This is just like a number, helping you to first to evaluate your student's level or even your university level where you are. So it's like, maturity level. You can use it to see where is your position in the market. That's just aligned within your programs. Machine learning, it is just, it is just a part of AI technology that you can just say you can employ some 3 main algorithms. That's, clustering, classification, and deep learning. Just we are not going through these technical. We are interested more to show or to demonstrate how these systems can use to help you to improve your educational system. So, okay. So basically, these are just, as basic to the result that the machine learning show, or the AI based on the database that we use it shows that there are, the technical skills, and let's just say the certification as well as the adaptability. They are the most, let's just say, common factor that you should, as a decision maker, to help your student to get such, let's just say, level. So this is actually, this is a challenge actually, but Oman, they are going very good. There's a strategy and there is vision regarding digital transformation and so on, but we face, and also from, let's just say, feedback of the student, they are scared of that they will not find a job or something, but this is, inshallah, after this, within this strategy of Oman, all the students, graduate students, they will give their job easily and there will be no problem at all. And even now, Oman also open a new door for even expats to come back and so on. So there are a lot of opportunities. You need from the student and from their universities to guide them how to get to these things. Okay. So these are, we developed these questions. What are the most, let's just say, critical skills that influence the job market? How does the industry demand index work? And which specific technical and soft skills required? So these are just hypotheses, okay? So basically, this actually, an image also generated by the AI. So basic on the text. So you're giving the text, and this just try to show how this is. So this is, we use the machine learning, okay, to, in particular, decision tree classifier. We write some code in Python. Okay, these are just a sample of the data that we use. It's actually more than 1,200, it's about 8,000, but we just use a sample of this, let's just say, data collected from our university, from Ms. Dr. Wafa. She helped us and she get us this information that describing, let's just say, this information about the students. As well, this is the study tool that we use. I will not just go through that to show you how this industry demand index. So there are actually a lot of international, if you check, there are some industry demand, or just say index, used for productions, for food, for many things, but we use it here to give, or just to help the university to measure their levels where they are in the market. So this is the main idea behind this industry demand. So there we just set some, let's just say, number for month 3 based on the machine learning, actually, details that we get. So if, for example, that student or university, you are between 1 and 3, this is mean that you still with a low performance. If you are between 4 and 6, still you are in the middle, and if you from 7 to 10. So there are some actually job specification. We will see them together, how the machine learning actually try to, for example, high demands now, it is going, what the graduate is, let's just say, this index affected if this student, they have some experience with, let's just say, AI, machine learning, blockchain, they have more opportunity to get job in the market. And this is actually, we can see these things, it's just things. And this is actually the purpose of the index. Is just, if you want to improve your, let's just say, education quality, you can work on. This is also we design like a robot consultant. It can help you and teach you how to use it and how it can, you can just upload your, just some information from your university, and it will give you the best where you are, and it will also explain to you why they give such, let's just say, level of your thing. So this is just a scenario one, just to show you how it is working. For example, if your system or the system will give you that your index is 8, this means that your just say artificial intelligence, machine learning, means that the candidate is in high demand around the world because this technology is in demand. This is just a scenario that developed by the system. The second one, if your, let's just say, student, they are working within renewable energy technology, sustainable development strategies, or project management, this means that you are within 7 and 8 points. And the third one, that, let's just go back. So, okay. Oh, that's one. I'll just go back to that one and just, still I have time, yes? Good. So these are actually the system actually describes, or why is go it back, it's not mine. I think from there something problem, I'm not playing with it. Still I have time. I'm not playing with it. Oh, come on, it's not like just 2 minutes, okay? Just to show them how it's working. And they just, you can access it by your mobile phone and to see how it is working. I will just go to the end, it's fine, I know how it's calculated when I got that. So these are actually the features, the best feature that help your student to get job. It is, about 97%, it is, you can trust it. That technical skills, GPA also play main role in these features. Soft skills, graduate specialization is very important also to help the student to get their job. This is the decision 3 that all the program, the Python code, actually this is like a smart system. How it is working based on this decision 3, it is all developed by Python. This is the code of the program, how this system was developed. Just I want to go through this one. This is the robot. You can just open now if you want to your from your mobile phone, tireproject.com, without the H, and there you just play with this system, and it will draw a specific path for you, what you should learn, what you should know, and what is your skills later in the future, what you will be engineer, or whatever you will be good, for example, in medicine or in IT, and so on. We don't have time to display. It's working like that. So even you can speak, there's also voice, you can talk with it. And the system actually working and behind, in the back-end server, there is also a Google. There's no ChatGPT at all here because it is our, let's just say, work. It's just, but it is also try to collect these data, the last updated data from the internet, and based on this collected data, for example, if you are from Oman, the system will know that what is required in Oman, it will guide you and would help you. For example, if you see here down, like for example, there is a, for example, now 35% you will be employee if, for example, if your graduated specialization is engineering. So how the system will help you when you will be graduated and so on. So these are also from these things. Also, we create a JET that helps the student also to register and to show for the graduate student, it's linking the graduate student within the employees and plus the trainers, and this, let's just say, working also after this, Taro project, it will create, as I say, the path. You go to this one, and it will just assign a specific, let's just say, training course for you that will help you to get a job based on the companies that seeking for this. And these are just, I will not go in. This, I think, I will keep some time for the questions. Yes, okay. This is, I will not do so. You can just, so, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Excellent presentation. I like the topic actually. It shows something very important, that GPA is the only, it's not the only thing that you need to get a job. But the whole thing, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and job market, 3 areas, very important areas. So thank you, Doctor. Do you have any question for him? We'll give you the microphone if you want.
You can ask in Arabic for the students, okay? No problem.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for this interesting presentation. I just have a little request for clarification. You have technical skills, apart from GPA that the professor mentioned, and then you have soft skills.
Yes.
Can you just clarify that? What are the indicators for technical skills? And soft skills, what are you looking at, or what did you look at in feeding the artificial intelligence? Thank you.
Okay, Prof, thank you very much. Thank you for this good question. Actually, basically, it's not my decisions, okay? It is AI decision based on the given data. Soft skills, it just means that the student, they should know somehow some programming language. It's very important. Let's start with NPI. This is very important for the student to get, otherwise they will not get any innovative, because all market now, they are looking for innovative people. To be innovative, you should have some programming techniques. There is no other ways. There's no other way. And let's just say the Python is very simple, easy to learn, actually, and it will really help the student to create just critical thinking and really making them, let's just say, creative and innovative. Otherwise, there is no other choice. We check with that one. You cannot be innovative without Python. So all the students, or all the university system, even if you are, you don't need to be, let's just say, from IT, a specialist, or let's just say engineer. You should know it. At least you should, because from that, it's very simple and easy to learn. And there are already, a lot of tools that helping the student to get more. Even our kids in other countries, in Europe countries, specifically in Russia, we came from Russia. So even in the first class, they are studying Python. I hope I answered your question, sir. Thank you.
Actually, soft skills include communication skills, presentation skills, and many other skills that help you to be able to convey your message. Any other question? If no questions, we will go to the other presentation.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Doctor. Okay, now we'll start from the beginning. The first presentation in the list is by Rahuda Majan. They're going to talk about rhizomes and bilingual and language learning in Philippines. So please come to the stage. And please introduce yourself and your co-authors.
Hello, good morning. I'm Rodora Magan from the Philippines, Cebu Technological University. It's my first time here in Oman. It's a beautiful country. So I'll just say, next slide, please, okay, so that I won't be missing out on very important information. Right. Okay, I titled my research. Oh, by the way, I'm the only author in this study, and when I saw this invitation to present my paper, I really took time to study what is the best paradigm, to look into, to share with you this very important thing coming from the Pearl of the Orient. That's how they call my country in the Philippines. Rhizomes, Duolingo, and language learning in the Philippines. Next slide, please. So what is the central provocation of my study? Allow me to read the central argument. The study contends that Duolingo's basic English course for Tagalog speakers operates within rhizomatic networks, in which processes of territorialization and displacement imminent in these unstable networks fluidize and inclusivize mobile-assisted language learning, or MALL, in the Philippines, a nation shaped by colonial entanglements. And I think everybody knows that. Okay, next slide, please. What are the key inspirations? I pointed out three very basic things in my study, triangulating them so that I can come up with something quite important. First element is technology. We know exactly that we are very much in the 21st century and that there's no escaping the fact that this is really powerful, okay? And you know, we have this era that we call Anthropocene. I thought that, you know, these human beings, you and I, we are very much factors in developing this world we are in. That's why technology is very important. Technological determinism, you have their creative deconstruction, and that's in my other study. And the other element is very important, cultural exchange. We're here today because we want that, basically. So we have transnational studies, and very basically Duolingo, a type of language learning app, is something I focalize in my study as well. Third element, we talk about global economy. We have capitalism, populism, and we have Jacques Derrida's idea all along, and we also have the idea of specters of Marx in this very seminal work, just to sort of give you the inspiration of coming up with this very important trajectory. Next slide, please. So this is the context, very briefly, for the impact of ICT in my country. It's not a rich country. It's basically a third world country, but we are trying to overcome these obstacles. And of course, technology is helping us do that. We have remote learning. We have the acknowledgement that digital resources are not that abundant. It's very scarce. But we're trying on a daily basis to enhance communication, to foster greater accessibility to language education. And here's Duolingo trying to bridge the gap, because Duolingo has emerged as a pivotal tool for language learning. It leverages its gamified approach, which I'll be tackling in a while, to attract a diverse user base in my country, emphasizing the shift towards mobile applications in education. And I think that after COVID-19, everything has been reset, and we are kind of acknowledging the presence of technology on a daily basis. And thirdly, as I said in the previous slide, to echo that, we have colonial language dynamics. See, we are a very geopolitically strategized nation. We are at the epicenter in the Pacific Ocean. We are the gateway to the Pacific, actually. And so you can talk about Hinduization, Islamization, Americanization, and all those types of processes that help the country's geopolitical trajectories. And of course, it's a positionality even in the 21st century. Next slide, please. All right, so the theoretical framework, as I shared with you earlier, is very much latching on to the idea of Gilles Deleuze and Guattari, and they have this famous rhizomes. Very briefly, I'm going to tell you what this type of theoretical perspective, which kind of guides me in my study. So Deleuze and Guattari employs the metaphor for knowledge acquisition. You call that rhizome. The image right there is very non-hierarchical, okay? There's no linearity there. Every development can just, proceed from all directions and can go to various directions. You can see there are intersections. So this is talking about multiplicities, decentralization, and of course, despite all the decentering that happens, there's the promotion of organicity. And I thought that in every paradigm, in every plan, in every vision, we aim for organicity. Okay. Second major element in this framework is the non-hierarchical learning frameworks, emphasizing equality among learners and facilitators. So in the teaching learning process, for instance, there's no boss, there's no slave, like there's an interaction going back and forth. There is the learning from teacher to learner, from learner to teacher at the same time, in a very self-regulated pace. And this is how we do knowledge sharing, very basic in a weightless economy. I thought that everybody is aware of what a weightless economy is. It's like the knowledge-based society, which is very much hinged on the individualities, the uniqueness of every individual in coming up with desired ends in life. Thirdly, very basic territorialization and deterritorialization. This conveys the concept of fluidity in language learning, where learners can claim spaces for personal linguistics. Now, I'd like to highlight here spaces and not places. Places is just so physical, but a space is very metaphorical, very metaphysical at that. You see, there's a space within a place. For instance, this is a very good avenue that we're having right now, and in these very tiny spaces, you're sitting next to a person that you're just acquainted with a few seconds ago, and you learn something. And now you're hearing me and you learn something. Earlier, I heard the previous speaker, I learned something. In that paradigm, in the rhizome, you can just be in your own self-regulated type of learning, and you can learn something as well, because you intend that for yourself. There's the positionality and the intentionality at the same time. Next slide, please. So, echoing the rhizomes. Next slide, please. Okay, echoing the rhizomes, we have the Duolingo learning app, which is very famous in the world now. I mean, if you are going to be attending a college, for instance, you have an option, Duolingo. Economically, you can actually access this one, especially for third world countries. We just go to this one for some language assessment examinations. Key features of Duolingo, we have game-based design. It employs gamification, incorporating incentivization, rewards, levels, and community competitions. Focusing on community, we have here number 3, inclusivity and accessibility. You see, in a community, we work together for one goal. We don't isolate ourselves. We could be isolating in the way we learn, but the desired end, there's collectivism there. So it's always the binary between collectivism and individualism. And we say, and I say in this paradigm, that there is collectivism at the end of the day, despite the rhizomatic framework that's happening. And of course, the mobile-first strategy, because we don't really have that great infrastructure, internet infrastructure like Oman has or like any first world country has. This kind of platform is very important because it sends a message that, wherever you are in my country, with, by the way, 7,000 plus islands, that's what you call my country, archipelago, people can have access to it, and that you are not even, the seas and the oceans, oceans don't necessarily isolate you from what you will have to learn, because basically we have this kind of app that teaches you that, a greener pasture is just very simple to achieve when you have this type of intentionality to learn. English, for the most part. Next slide, please. All right, findings, 3 things. I'm almost done with this. Because my country has a very social linguistic landscape, like I said earlier, Hinduization, the Indians came with the ambition to convey their ideas to the Filipinos, and then the Muslims came again to convey the entire cultural heritage in my country, and then the Spaniards came, and then the Americans came, and then the Japanese came. So it's like a hodgepodge of culture, so that there's no such thing as an original Filipino, because everybody's a transient, okay? Well, geopolitically speaking, you have that. So as a residue, you have a linguistic residue. We talk we have several languages. And of course, because we are colonized by the Americans, and it sort of struck the many of us to learn English and have that as a pathway for progress and whatnot. So you have this intentionality to learn the language in a very post-colonial sphere. And that's the reason why my study is latching onto post-coloniality as well, very reflective of the rhizomes, as I said earlier. So number 2, you have Tagalog and English interaction. Basically, Tagalog is the national language, but over time, Tagalog became Filipino, so that Filipino has 2 meanings, the name of the national language and the name of the citizen. Okay, so Tagalog is replaced. Why? Because, in my country, we have 3 major islands, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And the ones speaking Tagalog are the people from Luzon, the biggest island. But what about Visayas and Mindanao? Oh, by the way, we have here people speaking Cebuano Visayan. So it's kind of a competition, linguistically speaking. Therefore, Tagalog was effaced, just to, surface the idea that everyone can just have one language, conglomerate of the many languages, indigenous languages in the country, more or less 100 indigenous languages. Coming up with one collective language, which with a bit of Cebuano Visayan, with a bit of Waray-Waray, with a bit of Tagalog. Everything's like a hodgepodge again, a very collective type of linguistic system. So finally, that is because we have cultural syncretism in my country, various cultures. When you go to my country, somebody looks like a Chinese, somebody looks like Indonesian, Malaysian, American, Japanese. Yeah, that's how the beauty goes. Very diverse, culturally speaking, linguistically, and of course, the way we envision ourselves. We follow certain powerful trajectories. That is, again, for instance, learning the language as a very viable tool for progress. Next slide, please. The secondary important finding here is psychogeography. I thought that you're familiar with the mind and space relationship, so that when you go to a place, for example, your psychology is affected by the tiny elements in a particular culture. See, when I came here 2 days ago, I arrived in Oman, and I did a psychogeographizing. Okay? All right. I have a few more minutes. Okay, 3 minutes, good. So I'll make this very quick. So there's a relationship, the physical space of the geography, and it sends a message that, okay, this is a very syncretic environment, and it leads you to the following community-oriented learning strategies, again, from various cultures. And hence, there's the gamification idea, which is very powerful here, because a community like my community is very diverse, so that you can only have one direction there for you all to progress. See, there's this collaborative educational atmosphere. Next slide, please. Last two. And finally, this is very important finding, the technological landscape. Like I said to you, our country is not having a very strong internet infrastructure, but we're trying to overcome these obstacles. And again, what is the goal? Number two, to enhance digital learning platforms, to engage everybody, and of course, to engage with the world, because again, mobile tech is now the in thing. Next slide, please. Conclusion, you have here the role of Duolingo in countries like my country, and of course the end goal is inclusivizing education, no matter who you are, rich, poor, from far-flung areas to the metropolis. I mean, we can just be in one zone to learn a particular language, or a language of your choice, again, which resonates with your economic decisions in life. Last two more. Okay, in the end, we have the very concept of participatory culture, and this is very much seen in how we are all putting ourselves in the internet, okay? If you don't participate, done deal. That's the reason why I end this presentation today with this. Last slide, please. That we are all, according to Orsal, cultural omnivores. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, maybe one question for her, because we're running out of time. Any question for her? We learn more information about Philippines.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. I just would like to ask.
You can use this one.
Assalamu alaikum. I just would like to ask about disability. How can people the policy of learning the disability type of disability people in your country? What is the procedure or the policy they follow for our study?
What I'm getting is you're asking for the policy followed in my country in terms of stabilizing the people in this kind of paradigm?
Yes.
Okay. The Commission of Higher Education in my country, as well as Department of Education, are working hand in hand to actually fluidize the learning process. So in our classrooms, we have hybrid paradigms, just to make sure that those in the far-flung areas are, catered to. And even if you're not having this formal education, we have a non-formal education as well that will help you navigate your life and will not put you in the back seat. In other words, everybody is put at the fore of this kind of very much transformative paradigm. So yeah, they're working hand in hand, and there are guidelines to this one. Thank you.
Anyway, if you have any more questions for the presenters, you can talk to them during the break. Now we move to the third presentation, which is titled Applying 3 Ps Methodology in Teaching Vocabulary for Young Learners, a Case Study by Afrah Shammakhi. Introduce yourself and your team. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good morning. I hope you're having a great day. This is Afrah Shammakhi. As you see, I'm not sure I have to be closer to the mic. Okay, this is Afrah Shammakhi from Gulf College. I'm an English lecturer, and I used to be a regional supervisor back in the Ministry of Education. Well, to start with, vocabulary acquisition. It's about vocabulary acquisition, mainly. So vocabulary acquisition is a very essential part in any language acquisition. Why is that? Well, because vocabulary knowledge, inadequate vocabulary knowledge, makes language learning very difficult for the learners. In fact, it has been a very clear problem and a struggle with Cycle 1 students, the little ones, especially in the vocabulary lessons, whenever they are observed by the supervisors. Well, they were not able to tackle or to recall back the vocabulary acquired towards the end of the lesson. No matter how many times I try to convince the teachers throughout the post-lesson discussions that the students did not get enough practice. In other situations, the students did not get a chance to produce the new language, the taught new language. In fact, those post-lesson discussions could make feeble changes in teachers' way in teaching. That is because, as we all know, changes in a belief does not occur overnight or in a short period, in a short time. Okay, here comes, this is why. Here comes the importance of conducting such scientific research, as teachers needed to be engaged fully in an action plan. And in order also to be able to heighten their awareness. Let's start talking about the strategy itself, the 3P strategy. Well, the 3P, is it clear if I, because I can't hear my voice. Yeah, it's okay. Well, the 3Ps methodology, presentation, practice, and production, is a technique used to develop the learner's retention of the taught items of vocabulary. Research proved that teachers are happy with this technique as it provides them with a clearly defined goal which makes it appealing to them. In this technique, only one language item is presented to students at a time through which review and repetition should be activated instantly after studying a word. So in the presentation stage, the teachers present the new language, and in the practice stage, the teacher practices the language through the oral practice. That's better, thank you. All right, so in the presentation stage, the teacher presents the new language, but in the practice stage, the teacher practices the new language through oral practice. And this also should go in a systematic way, starting with the whole class repetition, group by group repetition, and then individual repetition. And of course, nowadays, teachers use AI in designing characters so that students here, the accurate pronunciation, the British accent, which is even more accurate than the teacher's pronunciation. Coming now to the third stage, which is the production stage. The teacher here expects the students to be able to produce the language. Back to the research. Well, what are the objectives of the research? It investigates the application of the 3 Ps methodology in teaching vocabulary. It aims at bridging the gap between teaching practices and developing students' retention of vocabulary. By analyzing the implementation of this strategy, this case study attempts to evaluate the kind of impact this strategy could have on students' retention of vocabulary usage. This research provides a clear framework to follow by the schools which aim to develop the professional development of students and to develop, professional development of teachers, of course, and to develop the teaching practices of teachers in teaching of vocabulary. This is the framework of the research. I call it the route map, starting with the data collection and analysis. And here at the very initial stage, the data was related actually to the students' previous assessment, to the daily lesson plans, and video recordings of some normal vocabulary lessons. Then moving on to the support plan, okay, I designed the support plan, and in order to make sure that the support plan is working well, there was a need to design the follow-up plan. And here at this stage, again, data collection was done, but this time data was related to the pre- and post-test questionnaires and classroom observations. Then moving on to the data analysis, and finally to the findings. Well, this study is an evaluative study as it measures the effectiveness of the strategy on the teachers' vocabulary teaching practices, and also on the students' retention of vocabulary. The population covered all grades 3 and 4 classes, and grade, of course, at the level of one school. Each grade includes 5 classes, and each class includes 25 students. For the data collection, I used document review tool, video recordings, lesson plans, analysis, classroom observations, pre- and post-test, and questionnaires. And for the data analysis, document review analysis was used, descriptive data analysis, document analysis, checklist, SWOT was designed as well, and finally, Excel sheet. Talking about SWOT, well, SWOT actually shaped the way through the research journey that I tackled. And SWOT, and it shows as well what options to use and what threats to deal with. SWOT, of course, stands for strengths, weaknesses, options, and threats. The strengths that could be figured out during the journey were like experienced teachers, provides students with different activities and worksheets, cooperative teachers, use of technology. As for the weaknesses, you're not using an effective strategy to teach, not giving enough practice while teaching, not managing classroom wells. As for the options, they were like cooperative administrators, fairly distributed portions, complete number of teachers. And the threats that needed to be dealt with, actually, like there was no senior teacher to support teachers to follow up their work, heavy curriculum, and crowded classes. Well, this shows the procedures included in the support plan. I'm going to share with you just some of them, like meeting teachers to attract their attention to the problem and its effect on the students' learning, to prepare pre- and post-test before the support plan, that is, before the implementation of the strategy and after the implementation, conducting team teaching and demo lesson. All right. Well, I needed to design some forms in order to follow up the success or the achievement of the support plan, like a form for the observation, classroom observation, another form for the analyzing each video clip, team teaching, evaluating sheets for the workshop. Okay, now the findings. This table shows the analysis of the classroom observation reports. Here, it shows the activities used by the teachers in each stage. Like in the presentation stage, there are flashcards, videos, realia. Practice stage, there's oral practice using AI videos and so on. As for the production stage, games, smartboard, Kahoot, and so on. Coming to the questionnaires. The questionnaires were actually distributed among 7 teachers out of 9, as 2 teachers were having their maternity leave. And the questionnaire actually includes 2 parts. The first part includes 7 items where teachers need to indicate whether agree, do not agree, or not sure. And the second part, of course, includes open questions. As for the first part, all the teachers agreed with 5 items, and those are: 3P's methodology helps organize the steps of the lesson. It helps manage my time in the lesson well. With the 3P's, I can see clearly the achievement of the learning outcomes. I now give sufficient practice to my students. I'm able to design activities that suit each stage of the lesson. However, teachers did differ in their response to 2 items. The first one is, with the 3P's, there's usually no time left for the production stage. Actually, 3 teachers agreed, 3 teachers did not agree, and 1 teacher was not sure. Well, actually, this can be attributed to the time management skill, as still some teachers have not mastered such a skill. As for the second one, the other item is I cannot decide which step to go with each stage of the 3P's. Here, 5 teachers did not agree with the item, while 1 agreed and 1 was not sure. And this gives a very good indication, actually, that the strategy, has a very good impact on the students' retention of vocabulary, and that's good. Coming to the second part of the questionnaire, most of the teachers expressed that after using the strategy, they felt more confident, comfortable, and smoothly moving the lesson. And they mentioned something like, it saves my time, I can achieve learning outcomes, and production stage helps me evaluate my students. And when they were asked about the problems, what kind of problems they faced throughout the implementation of the strategy, they complained about the students sitting, as some teachers of other subjects actually insisted on the students to sit in rows instead of groups. Pre and post-test analysis. This graph actually shows a comparison between the marks in pre and post-test, both in grades 3 and 4. And as you can see, the marks in the post-test are higher than the marks in the pre-test, and this gives a very good indication as well of the effectiveness of the strategy. Coming to the end of my presentation. This is the last. The last slide. It shows the limitation and recommendation. First, let's start with the limitations. There are some issues to consider, like time should be managed effectively while applying the 3P strategy, and teachers should be trained in managing it. That's what we missed actually throughout the research journey, which took actually about 1.5 semesters. And then students should sit in groups to ensure, why is that? In order to ensure the validation of the collaborative learning during the practice and the production stages. All right, coming to the recommendation, it is recommended to conduct the study across more schools and with similar or even different education levels like Cycle 2 and post-basic classes for broader generalization and to provide stronger evidence of the impact and effectiveness of the strategy. And of course, controlled versus experimental classes would give much better results, along with the other instruments as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Afrah. Now, if you have a question, we have 2 minutes. Any question for Afrah? Afrah?
It's educational, entirely. That's why.
No questions? If no questions, we will.
Thank you. It's very interesting study. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
There is some reason for selecting the sample from this grades?
Yeah, exactly. That is actually the school that I used to supervise. That is the school that I used to supervise. And I supervised like 3 years before before I conducted the research in, and the same problem just continued. Yeah.
So there is possibility to generalize or go for another sample and
Of course,
compare.
why not?
Yeah.
Of course. I've got a colleague who works in the FAR College, and she is implementing right now this strategy in the college. And she is also conducting research upon that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Yeah, any other question? No? Thank you very much, Afrah. Well done, thank you. Now we'll go to the other presentation. Okay, the other presentation, the title of the other presentation, Future of Artificial Intelligence, Humanistic Perspective. I think the presenter will be Daz Jacol, right? Thank you. Because Samuel Baby is in US, as far as I know. You want to use this one? You can use this. Or you can use that one.
Hello. First of all, thank you very much, Muscat College, for organizing this wonderful conference. Very glad to be here. In this particular article, my co-author, or rather I should call him as a corresponding author, Dr. Baby-Sam Samuel. He is not able to attend this particular conference, so I am representing him in this particular one. And we are basically going to talk about what is that artificial intelligence is going to possess, what are the benefits of it, what are the challenges that it's going to throw on us, and how a humanistic approach can actually bring about not a radical change, but incremental changes in terms of we overcoming the challenges of artificial intelligence. So moving on to that. So when I was actually researching about artificial intelligence, the birth of artificial intelligence, I found that this term was actually coined in one of the conferences held like this, way back in 1956 in Dartmouth College in US. Fortunately, my son did my master's from that particular college, that's why I'm very happy about this. And what the ChatGPT gives me is this. With little bit of information, the ChatGPT gave me almost similar. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is that there is a lot of things that's going to happen in our life in the next few years to come. Maybe it could be a disruption, it could be a boon or bane, we'll have to wait and see. So after 63 years of coining this particular term, as a simplified way of defining what is artificial intelligence has been actually worked out by Kaplan and Halim in 2019, wherein the system, it's the ability of the system to actually analyze the data, adapt to the situations, interpret it, and use it to achieve certain specific goals. So this seems to be the most simplified definition of artificial intelligence. So we do not know much about artificial intelligence capabilities as of now. In the years to come, we are going to face it. We are going to see it. But as of now, what is the potentiality of artificial intelligence has been defined in these three kinds of intelligence. So you can say that narrow intelligence, general intelligence, and super intelligence. So many of the things under the narrow intelligence is already known to us. It's by way of image processing and all of the stuff. We know that this is the way the system recognizes it. So I can give an example of the narrow intelligence and general intelligence from my own experience in the last week. So when I did the half marathon in the Muscat Marathon last week, the very next day, they sent me 192 photos of mine. So I was very happy because my running is captured by them through different photographers. And I presume that out of my number, 605 was my number, so they recognized it. And that's the way the narrow intelligence works, right? But when I search the photos, out of these 192 photos, there are some photos wherein my number is not visible. So I presume that with the recognition, there are some photos which already it recognized, and the machine actually started learning from it, that this number is this person's number, and this is the face of him. So other photographs wherein my number is not there, still it started recognizing. I think that's where the general intelligence, it's actually, the machine is actually learning out of it. Whatever they captured, they actually learn out of it. But I don't know much of example of super intelligence, because that's something that's going to happen in the years to come. I don't know what's going to happen to running. I'm not quite sure of it. So my example doesn't actually fit into this super intelligence part of it. So we are slightly going in a philosophical way, not very technical way. We can actually look at artificial intelligence from two angles. One is that artificial intelligence is to make our life much more easier. You can say that, after some time, you have to just sit at home and do the things. You don't need to go out anywhere. That kind of facilities can be provided by artificial intelligence. Or do we need to think on a philosophical way just to ensure that, we as humans have already done enough damage to this particular planet? Should we stop doing further damage? So in the next slides, we are going to explain that. So I will just go by how the artificial intelligence can actually better our life. There are lots of technologies currently available, and in the years to come, there will be a lot of technologies. It will be created by the artificial intelligence itself, in order to ensure that there is enough facility for us to automate almost everything in our life. We don't need to work about, as Professor was talking about, helping the people with special capabilities, not the disabilities, special capabilities. So those kinds of things can actually do wonders in the lives of the people. But at the same time, there could be some flip side to that, right? So before going into the flip side, let us just look at what the different sectors of the economy that could be actually benefited out of the artificial intelligence. So education, wherein there could be so many technologies that can actually enhance the personalized learning of all these things. So I'm just, for the want of time, there are certain specific 6 parts of the economy that will be very, very powerful in terms of influencing our lives. So that's healthcare, banking, and insurance. Yeah. So agriculture, transportation, and government. So these are the things wherein AI can actually do a great job, and that will influence the lives of even common people. Not only the people who have the privilege to access the technology, but also the people who are the downtrodden people of the society could also get benefited out of it. So the flip side of it, that when the computers came, we all had the same feeling that it's going to overpower us, we are going to lose the jobs, right? We overcame that by our own adaptability. Similarly, the AI, artificial intelligence, also poses a lot of anxiety to us because we are not sure as to what is going to happen. So the first and foremost will be, there will be a lot of disruptions in our life in terms of our job or profession. So what happens is that as we developed, when we were actually encountering the advent of computers, we trained ourselves, we retrained ourselves, we made a lot of programs to capacitate ourselves. Similar things need to be done, and we do not know what kind of it. Because most of the academicians sitting here are well aware of the fact that you are teaching the students. At the same time, you do not know whatever you're teaching will be useful after 3 or 4 or 5 years. You are actually teaching the students without knowing whether this particular knowledge will be very useful for them in the years to come. There is going to be a lot of disruptions, a lot of jobs. What you see today may not be available tomorrow. There will be a super intelligence in terms of, we do not know if there is a super intelligence comes, whether those decisions made by those supercomputers will be, or the AI, artificial intelligence technology, will be the right one or not, whether the decisions could be reversed or not, we do not know. So the after effects of these kinds of technology will be very high. And at the same time, when we go in for the technology part, it's quite sure that, we are going to have a lot of carbon emissions. How are we going to actually contain this, spoiling this particular wonderful planet? We do not know. And there could be a lot of weapons who could be automated and which may not have the capacity to differentiate between who is a friend and who is an enemy. So the after effects of such things could be very, very lethal. We do not know. Misinformation, even with the social media platforms, we can find a lot of misinformation is being carried out. And in the years to come, with the technology part, artificial intelligence can actually create a lot of havocs. The deep fakes and all of the things will come into play in a big way. And we do not know whether the right person is actually talking to us or not. And if you look at the social biases, we are the people who are creating the technologies. So our basic biases, like with respect to gender, with respect to color, caste, creed, and all, might creep into the technology also. So at the end of the day, we do not know what's going to happen with that. And there should be increased regulations and the ethics and part. So for the want of time, sorry, this is the humanistic approach that we are actually proposing in this article. Understand how the artificial intelligence can coexist with the human beings, and the role of ethics and the transparency and the governance in shaping the artificial intelligence integration into our society. So the uniqueness of humans is very, very important. We do know the kind of empathy, the kinds of feelings that we all have may not be there with the systems. So how do we incorporate those things? That's a huge challenge that's going to come. And the human AI teaming, it's not that the machines is actually overpowering us. It should be complementary to the development of the human beings. I think this plays a very, very important aspect in terms of the ethics that is going to be maintained when we have technology coming into play in our life. It needs to be precise, it needs to be accessed by everyone, and it should be accountable. There should be proper protection should be there. And this is going to be my last slide. So out of the humanistic approach, these are the 4 pillars on which the humanistic approach is being built. The first one is that it should support the human intelligence in terms of developing it. Secondly, it should work with the humans in tandem. It's not a separate one that's going to be given complete autonomy by the humans. And at the same time, it should actually understand the human limitations and try to support that. Last but not the least, the AI should only be used for the purpose of creating those kinds of products which neither the machines nor the human being can alone produce it. Thank you very much for the...
Thank you. Okay, I like the presentation because it's in my area. Do you have any question for him? Okay, can you give the microphone there? But maybe I can ask a quick question. What is the research method you use for this?
It's
work?
basically a conceptual method with respect to developing a theory. And it should, there is a lot of works to be done here. It's not an empirical study. It's basically a conceptual method.
Okay. Yeah. Quickly, we have 1 minute.
Yes. My question is, what are the biggest misconceptions about AI taking over jobs, and what's the really reality?
So basically, the first and foremost thing is that whether it's going to replace us, that's the biggest misconceptions we have. We should never, because we should never have such feeling, basically because of the fact that the pandemic came, we adapted to that in a great way. NASA is predicting that in another 12 years' time, you're going to be hit by an asteroid. They're tracking almost 10 years, 12 years down the line, right? So we humans have much more capabilities than what the artificial intelligence is going to be. It's only our creation. So if you follow certain ethics, certain transparency in creating these kinds of technologies, that is going to save us in the future.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you.
Excuse me, doctor, we have...
hold a second.
شكلك نسيتني.
نسيتك, sorry.
First of all, thank you so much about your valued presentation. My name is Walid Al-Azki. I have 3 general, small questions. Actually, we are now, when we sit with the people, they were speaking about the AI, artificial intelligence, but we don't know how to start it. Is it just about ChatGPT and DeepSeek or any other things that we can, learn it? This is the first question. The second question is, do you think the AI will replace people positions? In case of offices and general positions. And the third question is, don't you think AI will affect our skills? And thank you.
So to summarize, because of want of time, AI is going to disrupt our life. Take it for granted. What we see today may not be the technology that we are going to see in the next 5 years of time. There will be huge change that's going to happen. Secondly, the way you maintain yourself to overcome the challenges of the computer is the only way to overcome the challenges of AI. You have to change yourself to adapt to the situation, learn new technologies, learn new way of living the life. That's going to be the future. Thirdly, what was the third question? Sorry. Yeah, so majority of the jobs, what we see today, could be replaced. It may not even exist after 5 years or 10 years down the line. So whatever we are actually trying to, for example, a human resource management guy may not be required in an office to sit right from the morning to monitor the entire workforce. It could be completely automated. in the sense that each and every movement of an individual can be tracked the moment that individual enters the office. So whatever the work, the output, everything could be actually done through the AI.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Now we go to the other presentation. Activating virtual reality to familiarize new students with the facilities of the educational institution. This is by Sheikh Al-Salhi and the team. تريد هذاك الميكروفون الثاني ولا تستخدم هذا ولا هذا؟ هذا؟ اوكي. تريد تستخدم هذا؟ بس هذا تقدمه وهذا تأخره. نكس هذا. اوكي. تفضل.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My name is Sheikh Saeed Ali Salhi. Today I will present our paper research about activate virtual reality to familiarize the new student with the facility of education institution. Contains introduction, research object, review of a study, methodology, key finding, benefits of VR in education, challenging and solution, recommendation and future work, and conclusion. Introduction. Transmission to a new education institution can be overwhelming. VR offers an immersive experience for students to explore campuses before joining. Oman Vision 2040 encourages the integration of modern technology in education. Research object. Investigate the impact of VR enhancing student engagement and decision making. Explore how VR can help students understand university facility and service. Assess the role of VR in improving accessibility of distance and international students. Review of study. First study show VR enhancing learning, engagement and creativity in education. Second, while used in science, arts and engineering. Third study, challenging including high cost and accessibility issues. Fourth studies, COVID-19 accelerate the adoption of VR in education. Methodology. Collecting a survey using Google form with 9 questions. 3,000 school students in Oman participate. After the result in methodology point, now I will discuss the key finding of the project. 56.8% of students are familiar with VR. 97 are interested in using VR for campuses exploration. 95% agree that VR help in choosing a university. 96% too believe the benefit students who cannot visit campuses. Provide facility to explore 72.2 library, 36.4 sport facility, 36.4 student activity. There are many benefits of VR in education, but I will discuss those. Enhancing communication and interaction, improving student engagement and understanding, provide realistic and immersive learning experience, support international students and remote learners. The challenge faced by Ministry to improving VR, high cost, accessibility issues, and contains quality concerns. Solution: investment in infrastructure better contains creation and training teachers. Conclusion. VR is transform education by making learning immersive and engaging. It helps students to make informed decision about university. Institution should invest in VR to enhance education and align with Oman Vision 2040. Recommendation and future work. Allow the mobile access, make it available on phone and VR headset. Give feedback, improve the tools based in student investigate. Make it funny, include question or a small challenge. Add VR feature, mix VR with real world views. Thank you. Do you have any question? عادي والله.
Okay. You said it's only for 12th grade student. Is it possible to other levels of student to attend VR?
In this research, only for students in grade 11, but we can do it in the future, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Thank you.
Okay, any other question? Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well done.
Excuse me, doctor. There is one more question.
You have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so you give the microphone there and you give her the microphone.
Can we start here?
Yes, my name is Rahma Al-Mahrooqi. My question was, is there any studies or feedback on how the VR affects the students' engagement and familiarity with the campus? Like, is there any studies?
We already cover more than one studies in this research, and we already mentioned it in the BBTs. And in our...
Can you use the other microphone?
Yes.
Can you give her this microphone?
Yes, yes, I will. We already cover more than 4 literature review, and we discussed already about the output that it's come with it. And in our research, we do a questionnaire, which is already answered by students who are in secondary level in schools.
Okay. From which school you are? From which college?
We are from Muscat College, and the questionnaire is from more than 1 or 30 schools in Oman.
Excellent. Okay, well done. Okay, so now we'll go to the other presentation. The presentation title is School Bus Multi-Features Safety System by Lina Bilal, right? Maybe that microphone. تريد أي ميكروفون؟ تريد هذا أوكي. هذا الضغط هذا الزر فورورد وهذا باكورد. ريلاكس.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. Before starting, I would thank everyone here to let me be part of this great opportunity, especially Muscat College and MADA. Thank you. My name is Lina Bilal. I'm an electronics and telecommunication engineer, and my project is School Bus Multi-Featured Safety System. Okay, for today's presentation, we're going to have an introduction, the proposed system, the data collection that I've collected, then the results of the system, and the future recommendations that can be implemented in the future, and finally, the conclusion. And now, I will start with the introduction. From long time, school buses actually are used as a type of transportation method to transport students from and to schools. However, there are some major issues that student faces that affect their safety and security. The three main problems that they face that I found from my research is the first one, which is the major and the greatest problem, suffocation. And actually that happened many times here in Oman, where a student is by mistake forgotten in the bus, and that leads to decrease the oxygen rate and leads to suffocation and sometimes death. The second problem is overcrowding, where the number of students inside the bus exceeds the bus capacity. And the third one, and actually that happened to me many times when I was young, which is missing the bus or entering the wrong bus. From that, you can see that there is actually a problem, and students that use buses should increase their safety and security. Because of that, I make this system, which is the school bus multi-featured safety system, and now I will explain about it. First of all, I will explain about its working. This system is having 4 statuses and 1 emergency case. I will begin with the 4 statuses. The first one is entering the bus to go to the school. The second one is exiting the bus to go to the school. The third one is entering the bus to go to home. And finally, the fourth one is exiting the bus to go home. In each status, each student should scan his or her fingerprint by using the fingerprint scanner. And according to that, the LCD screen will display information about the status and the name of the student. Also, the green LED will turn on. At the same time, the GSM module will send an SMS message to the parent, includes date and time by using the RTC module, and also the status that his or her children actually entered or exited the bus, and the name of the children. Otherwise, if the fingerprint is not enrolled in the system, actually the LCD screen will show that you cannot enter the bus, and the red LED will be turned on. Also, if there are no scanning, the LCD screen will show the date and time by using the RTC. These are regarding the 4 statuses. Regarding the emergency case, which is for suffocation, this case is actually may occur in the second status in exiting the bus to go to the school, where this system recognizes that a student is still stuck in the bus by counting the number of students enter the bus in the first status and then count the number of students exit the bus. For example, I'll just give you an example. If the number of students enter the bus are 15 and then in the second status, the number of students exit the bus are 14, this means that there is one student is still left in the bus. The system will recognize that after 5 minutes from the last scan, the last fingerprint scan. I choose 5 minutes because it's actually a fair time to not get suffocated. And also, it's a fair time if the student is not stuck and he or she is just grabbing their items to exit the bus. For this case, the emergency case, the system will do 2 actions at the same time. The first one is opening a window, opening one bus window by using a linear actuator and the motor driver. Also, at the same time, it will send emergency SMS to the parent, driver, and the school. And now, let's move to the testings, or data collections. I collected data by using testings, testing 1 and testing 2. For testing 1, I test each component individually with the microcontroller, which is Arduino here. And for the second testing is adding each component one by one and test them according to the systems featured as I explained before. And now let's start with the results of testing 1. At the beginning, I tested the LCD to print 2 different lines, and it printed correctly. Then the RTC for time and date accuracy, and it was accurate. Then I also tested it to turn the power off and then turn it on to know if the date and time are accurate, and also it was accurate. After that, both LEDs, red and green, also they worked correctly. Then the motor driver and linear actuator. At the beginning, I tested the linear actuator with the battery to know if it's working or not, and it was working. Then I tested it with the microcontroller and motor driver for different movements, backward and forward, and also it worked correctly. After that is the fingerprint scanner. Actually, I tested it with 3 codes: enrolling, detecting, and deleting. And that's because if you want to implement this system, each school is going to have these 3 codes: enrolling to enroll the fingerprints of the students, detecting, and this one is going to be in the bus itself to detect the student's fingerprint, and deleting if the school wants to delete any fingerprint. At the beginning, I enrolled 5 different fingerprints, then I detect them, and also I detect another unenrolled fingerprints, and also it showed that the enrolled fingerprints are enrolled and the unenrolled are unenrolled. Then I deleted 3 fingerprints, then detect them again, and also the code showed that, that they are not enrolled. And finally, the GSM module that sends SMS. At the beginning, I tested just the SIM card with the phone to know if it's working or not. Then I tested the GSM with the SIM card to send 1 SMS to 1 phone number, and it sent it correctly. Then I tested it to send 5 different SMS to 5 different phone numbers, and also it was sent correctly. And now, let's move to the results of testing 2. At the beginning, I added the fingerprint with the LEDs, as I explained how they are going to work before, and they worked as planned. Then I added the LCD to print information, to show information, the status and date and time. Also, it worked correctly. Then I added the RTC for displaying date and time, and also to send in the SMS date and time. Also, it worked correctly. After that, the linear actuator and motor driver for the emergency case. Also, it worked correctly. And finally, the GSM for tracking SMS and emergency SMS. And also, it was sent correctly. And now I will show you the tracking SMS, how they are going to be. Here we are having 5 students, an example for 5 students, and 4 parents. Actually, because 1 parent is tested to be, it tested that he has 2 children. As you can see here, the first one. You can see that each parent received 4 SMSs, because there are 4 statuses, as I mentioned, with the student name, the status, and also date and time. Regarding emergency SMS, you can see that at the beginning here, below, in the parent, he received the tracking SMS normally. Then at time 9:18, he received the emergency SMS that his child is stuck in the bus. with the name of that date and time, the name, and that he needs help. Also, the school and driver received the same SMS, the same emergency SMS. Okay, after that, I tested the system with different common scenarios that may happen. The first one is when there are students absent. At the beginning, I tested it when there are 2 students absent, then when there are 3 students absent, and also it worked correctly for all the statuses and also an emergency case. Then, when there are students that go to school by bus, but they went home back with another transportation method, I tested it at the beginning with 2 students, and then with 3 students that they don't go back by bus, and also it worked correctly for all the statuses and emergency case. The last one, when there are students that students enter and exit the bus not in the same order. At the beginning, I tested it only for 2 students. Then for all the students that are not entering and exiting in the same order. And also it worked correctly for all the statuses and the emergency case. And now I'll just give you some time information about the system. Regarding the time of receiving the SMS, for the tracking SMS that received by the parent, it's going to be received by after 5 seconds from scanning the fingerprint. Regarding the emergency SMS, the one that's received by the parent is going to be after 8 seconds. Received by the school is going to be after 16 seconds, and the one that's received by the driver is going to be after 24 seconds, which means that within the last half a minute, all the SMS will be received. And this one shows that each new fingerprint scan needs to be after 2 seconds. Okay, here I'm just showing 2 videos it's just a prototype. It's not the final system, actually, not the final design. The system is ready, it's just not the final design. This is just the prototype to show it's working. The first video will show the enrolled and unenrolled fingerprint and how system acts to it with all the statuses, the 4 statuses, actually. And here, for this video, I'm using only 1 enrolled and 1 unenrolled fingerprint. Okay, for the second video, you're going to see an emergency case. I just tested it with only 2 students, just for time purposes, and also the time that's needed to know that there's a student stuck, I just reduced it to 1 minute, not for 5 minutes, and that's just for the video and time purposes. You'll see here and how the system will respond. Okay, as you can see here, to respond correctly, and it opened and closed the window. It opened when the student actually is stuck in the bus to avoid suffocation, and also it closes after that, after the student gets out from the bus and gets help. The reason that I used this method to save students from suffocation, because most of the system or most of the similar systems similar system for this purpose, actually, they only save students by sending SMS to the parent only. They're not opening any windows, so suffocation also can happen because the parent. There are many scenarios that a parent may get busy. They didn't receive an SMS, so just sending an SMS is not an efficient way. Another thing that many systems actually use radio frequency identification or QR codes, not the fingerprint. I use the fingerprint because it's more reliable and more efficient for students, especially younger students, because younger students cannot be responsible for not forgetting their cards or tags because radio frequency identification and QR codes are using tags. And evidence for this, last year here in Oman, in some schools, they tried to implement a similar system. It was just for tracking students, and it was by using radio frequency identification. Many students actually forget their cards, and just after 2 weeks, they stop the system. Okay, now we'll move to the future recommendations that can be implemented. The first one is use another identification method, and it should be reliable and efficient, like using AI, Face ID, something like that. The second one is implementing GPS, and that to track bus location. The third one is making mobile application to make it easier for parents to track their students and the bus. The fourth and fifth one actually is regarding temperature, where we can implement some sensors to measure students and bus temperature and do actions according to that. And now we reach to the conclusion. From what you saw with me, the system is used actually to track students, and also it's used to solve an emergency case, which is suffocation. And from that, you can see that it solved all the problems that I mentioned at the beginning in the introduction, which is suffocation, overcrowding, entering wrong bus, or missing a bus. So we can see that it reached its aim, which is increasing student safety and security. Thank you for listening. Hope that you enjoyed and have a nice day.
Thank you. Excellent and very needed system, actually. Okay. I'll give you my microphone.
Thank you very much. Very well done. A great project, and I think everyone could relate to it who have children.
Thank you.
My question is, do you think that this project is achievable and feasible in terms of cost and logistics? And maybe one feature you would also consider to add is maybe a signal or something when the child leaves the bus, if the child is in front of the bus or behind the bus, because so many incidences happen that the child leaves the bus and then the bus run over the child. So this is one feature you can add. So,
okay, regarding the first question, which is about if it's efficient for cost. Yes, it is efficient for cost and logistics, because the components that I'm using, it's available anywhere. You can find it here in Oman, or you can also order it online. It's not that much cost, so it's efficient. For the second point, of course, this one point can be implemented in the future as future recommendation, where we can, as I said, you can use another methods.
Okay. Any last question? Well, okay. We'll come back to you. It's okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu
Thank you for your presentation. It was very helpful. My question is how they can track the speed limit for the bus driver, because I went through health and safety previous, and it was like this kind of idea. How can you, or you add a speed limit for the bus limit, because every driver, he want to reach quickly as his.
Exactly.
Okay, this is one. Number two, you said for 5 minutes at the beginning, you make it. Some people, they cannot wait for 5 minutes. They cannot go. They cannot go for 5 minutes.
Okay.
But five, because it is time. Some people, I think you get the point.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Actually, for the first question, which is regarding, I think it's overcrowding problem, and how this system solved it. For each system, each bus is going to have an individual system. And as I mentioned, that the system recognizes students by fingerprint. For each bus, there are going to be, or each system, there are going to be limited number of students that they're just like the number, like the bus capacity. So that's how it just solved this problem, because it will not make unregistered student to enter this bus. For the second point, which is about why I choose 5 minutes, actually that it's 5 minutes after just the last scan. So if there's a student that is still in the bus, he or she is grabbing some items, it's just a fair time, because it's not 5 minutes from the first scan, it's 5 minutes from the last scan. As an example, as I said, if the entered student in the first status is 15 and the exit student is 14th, the 14th student that scanned his or her fingerprint, the system will count 5 minutes, and after that, we recognize if there's a student still in the bus. We can also implement another sensor, like some thermal sensors, to know also if there's still a student inside, and that will help in improving its working.
Shukran. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
I have one
we are
question.
running out of time, but if you want to answer quick questions. Okay.
There's one question here. Thank you for the excellent presentation. My question is, have you thought about the security of the data so that the data that you save is not misused?
Okay, at the beginning, this is, as I mentioned, it's a prototype. It's of course it needs more modifications, but I tested it with during months. I repeat the test many times, and the same data I got in every time. At the beginning, I got some mistakes, some misaccuracy, of course, but as I said, I tested it with months, not just short time, so that's why I'm sure about the accuracy of it.
Thank you. Very interesting project. Last quick questions from there were? Yeah. Microphone, can you give her the microphone over there?
Rahma Al-Mahrooqi here. I have a question regarding the system. You said that, for example, there is 16 kids and 14 of them went out and 2 of them, so the system is gonna show like there is 2 kids left. But like, how is the system gonna handle like the extreme weather condition or technical failures? Because as you said, your emergency case just provides only opening and closing windows. So if there is extreme weather condition, how are the kids gonna, you know?
Yeah, I understand your
yes,
question.
Thank you.
If the weather condition is not helping. Okay, that's why as I said, it's just a prototype. For each, there are different bus sizes, as you know, and for each one it needs different power, so it needs more testing. It needs to test each bus size and each window to know what the maximum power we can give by the linear actuator to avoid these problems.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very well done. It's okay. It was a very interesting project. That's why you took more time. Okay, the one before the last presentation, optimizing stock trading with NLP, natural language processing based semantic analysis, a data-driven approach. This is by Bala Christian. Krishnan, sorry. You need that microphone? You want this microphone or the other one? Okay. You can use this.
So good morning to one and all present here. It's a great pleasure for me to extend my wishes to all the participant and conference coordinator. I am Dr. Balakrishnan, Professor and Head of Computer Science Engineering from Vinaya Missions Research Foundation, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. So our topic is optimizing stock trading with NLP-based sentiment analysis. It's a data-driven approach. Actually, at present, we are in the IoT world. So whenever we talk about the IoT, it's a very important thing, AI and data engineering or data science or whatever, big data analytics. So in our study, we actually have taken the NLP-based analysis based on the data. Yeah. So actually, whenever we talk about at present that stock analysis, stock trading is very, very important activity. So here the traditional stock trading mainly depends on the historical pricing data as well as the some kind of technical indicators. But whereas in this our project, we take it as a market sentiment analysis. So it's act as a vital role for making the stock price movement. So here we use the NLP, it's a natural language processing. It can analyze the market sentiment from the different sources like newspaper and some kind of social media data. And here we are combining NLP with a machine learning algorithm for the main purpose for it's enabling the more informed as well as the trading decisions. So here the main purpose of this research, it's mainly for improving the stock trading strategy, very particularly using the sentiment analysis based on the natural language processing. So the main objectives of our study is like sentiment-driven trading. It can perform purely the technical analysis, and the investor can react to the news leading to the price fluctuations and so on. And here we use the ML algorithm. We use more than 4 algorithms for different kind of classification and other thing. So mainly the machine learning algorithm enhances the prediction accuracy using the different data sources. And the integration of NLP, that's a sentiment analysis that helps identify the profitable buying and selling opportunity for both the side, okay, customer as well as the buyer and seller. So this study developed a data-driven trading strategy for optimizing the decision-making system. So the overview of sentiment analysis, very particularly in the stock trading, here the sentiment analysis study, it all the way, it extracts the market opinions from the news article, financial report, and other tweets and other kind of data sources. And here we use a positive sentiment. See, actually here we use the 3 different sentiment analysis, positive, negative, and neutral. So all the way the positive sentiment, it often correlates with the stock prices whenever the prices increases. And the next, the negative sentiment, it totally dissatisfied with the service. It can indicate potential price drops. And the neutral, it's all the way, it's a good job, but needs some improvement. But here, the neutral, actually we used in that sentiment analysis, we used 3 things, positive, negative, as well as the neutral. But here the ML model, it classifies the news as a positive, negative, as well as the neutral, based on the ML algorithm. So here the trading strategy that leverages the sentiment score for improving the market timing and other things. So we use actually the data sources. So we collected the data sources from the different things, like the Google, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, Meta, Amazon, NVIDIA, AMD, and so on. So these are the different stock market, the data sources. We collected the data from the different sources. So here the historical stock market, the data is collected from the financial API, different financial API, like starting from Google to Netflix and Amazon and other thing. And here the news and social media data are scraped using the web crawling techniques. So with the help of the web crawling technique, we collected all the data. And here the sentiment directories, dictionaries are used for assigning the scores to the keywords, financial keyword. So based on the need or based on the necessity of the users, the keyword will be assigned. And the next, the pre-processing. So the pre-processing technique, it remove the irrelevant words as well as it standardize the financial terminology. And finally, the clean data is fed into the machine learning model for training. So this is the different data sources as well as the pre-processing is happening in our system. And ML model for sentiment analysis, here we are using 4 different algorithms. The first one is the logistic regressions. So this logistic regressions is all the way to classify the sentiment into the positive as well as the negative categories. And next algorithm, we use a support vector machine. So it mainly for improving the classification accuracy. And next, the neural network algorithm, it mainly captures the complex sentiment patterns in the financial text. Next algorithm, we used random forest. So it's all the way, it enhances the robustness by using multiple decision trees. So these 4 algorithms we used for the making our system in a more effective or more accuracy. And finally, we use the K nearest neighbor for validating all kind of historical sentiment data. And next, we use a trading strategy development. So whenever we talk about the trading strategy development, here based on the sentiment analysis, it all the way working from the phase 1 is data preparation, and we go with the feature engineering. So in that data preparation, here the sentiment score, it determines whether the particular customer want to buy or hold or sell the stocks. And next we go with the feature engineering. So in that cases, here threshold-based system that set the sentiment cutoff for the trading decisions. And next we choose the ML algorithm, the 5 different algorithms. So that algorithm, it's mainly for portfolio allocations that depend on the strength of the market sentiment. That's all the way happening. And next we go with the sentiment classification. So in that sentiment classification, with the help of the ML algorithm and sentiment classification, here we mainly use the NLP algorithm for mainly making the optimization on the past sentiment trend. And finally, we are going to refine the model. So that's a strategy of our system. And next, we go with the sentiment score calculation. So whenever we talk about the sentiment score calculation, we used different NLP tasks like speech recognition, speech tagging, word sense disambiguous, named entity recognition, co-reference solutions, NLP generation like that. So first here, with the help of that sentiment lexicon, it assigns the scores to financial keyword. And next, the NLP technique, it analyzes the sentence structure to detect the polarity. And next, the word embedding. So here we use the word-to-vec technique for mainly for improving the sentiment interpretation. And here, the higher sentiment scores that indicate the strong positive market perception. So finally, the real-time sentiment analysis update all the way, it's update the trading signals in the dynamic manner. So that's a very the important feature of our system. It's the trading will be happening in the dynamic way. And next, we use a different algorithm. So in that cases, how the algorithm training and back testing is happening. So the algorithm training and back testing here, first we use the historical stock price data that all the way trains a ML model. And next, we use the back testing. So the back testing, it evaluates the model performance on the past market conditions. And next, here we use these 4 parameters like accuracy, precision, and recall. These 3 parameters for finding the quality of our system. So next, the model hyperparameter are tuned for the optimal result and like that. So finally, we did that comparative analysis for the best performing sentiment-based strategy. So here the first algorithm, we use the logistic regressions very particularly for the sentiment classification. So here we know that sentiment classification using the logistic regressions, it's mainly for the binary sentiment classification, either positive or negative like that. So in that case, we use as the TF-IDF that scores to weigh the important financial terms. And next, it compute the probability estimates for the sentiment polarity. So, and we effective for the quick and rule-based sentiment analysis. It's based on that logistic regressions for the sentiment classification. And next algorithm, SVM, it's mainly for the actually here all the way we use the two-way classification. So that's why next we use the SVM for the sentiment analysis. So in that cases, it finds the optimal decision boundaries for separating the sentiment classes, and it works with all kind of high dimensional text data. And here we use the kernel functions for mainly for improving the classification for nonlinear relationships. So it also reduces the noisy financial data and other things. So next we'll go with the Dr.
Time is over actually. Now you're running in the 5 minutes, which is supposed to be question and answer.
That's okay, sure. This is Dr. Syed Saul Hamid, working in Utah's Sood campus. I will continue the rest of the part from this the research article. And the next one is we are using the neural network models for enhancing our work with the deep learning models. And there are the four the types of the models can be used: recurrent neural networks, the long or short-term memory, the model can be used. The transformer like the BET from the Google can be used to analyze the market sentiment data. And neural network, you know very well, it's needed of the many layers of data to analyze with the large scale the financial data. So we are planning to use the recurrent neural network in our proposed model in the future. The random forest, as I told earlier, the random forest is the good model to classify the different decision trees values, especially when handling the overlifting data. It reduces the overlifting data and it improves the generalization in the market financial sentiment data. And with the sentiment features, we can classify the stock movement, what happening in the present and past. So majority of the robust work is done by this random forest in the applications. It is well structured for the textual data. And all together, we are planning to implement the application program interface so that the user can easily view what data is moving on and which the market values they can hold and which they can sell or which they can make it as the neutral one. So bringing all the charts here, comparing the data with the pie chart and the bar chart, and we are making, even with some values, we are making the clear sentiment analysis. So this is the visualization techniques, as I told you earlier, line chart, bar chart, and pie chart can be used. With the heat maps, it's showing the clear data group analysis. At last, with all the MI models, we have to form the confusion matrix. With the help of the confusion matrix, we can clearly analyze the accuracy, precision, and the recall, and the F1 values. And with the values, all we can bring it to the ROC curves, which shows the trade-off between the past negative and the past true, false, and false negatives also. So there are some challenges we are facing with the sentiment analysis. One of the challenges, the sentiment misclassification. It leads to the market data in the wrong manner. So it is possible. The financial jargons, it's like the biggest problem for us. The real-time processing demand, which we are in need of high computing resources. These are the next challenges. The market anomalies, it can lead our analysis biggest problem. The continuous model changing, and with the current market, what is the latest trend is coming, we have to adopt that in our model. This is a thing we develop in our system with the proposed idea of NLP integrating with the machine learning ideas. Finally, that we are planning to use the same sentiment analysis machine learning algorithm NLP in our market analysis data. This is the plan to implement. The deep informants learning we are planning, and we are planning to get the data from the Reddit as well as the financial podcast. And we want to implement some advanced NLP models like GPT in our work in the future. And even we are going to analyze the data from the crypto as well as the Forex. These are the reference paper we reference from the latest 2024.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Any question? Okay.
Thank you for the excellent presentation. You have used logistic regression in your model, but I suppose it works mainly on better in the numerical data. So how did you manage that? I hope my question is clear to you.
No, that's why actually we used a two-way classification. So actually based on that algorithm, it won't work out properly. So for that we combined some more algorithm. That's why two-way classification, it actually working more than 95%.
So to make the more accuracy, we are planning to use the SVM, integrating the values of the values.
So the two-way classification we used.
So what level did you use logistic regression? I mean, to what stage? Was it not for prediction?
Yeah, prediction. So.
Okay.
Compared with the actual values of the predictions are a little...
Any other question?
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. It was very interesting. I would like to know what APIs have you used for financial data?
See, actually, we collected the data from different sources. The data, you are asking about data sources, is it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, actually, we collected from Google, Amazon, the different data sources.
Okay.
So different data sets we used.
So data sources were from Google and Amazon?
Yeah, Google, Amazon, because based on it's a kind of financial data. So we focused on different financial data sets.
Okay, thank you.
Somebody here? Okay. You have the microphone? Clear. The question is clear.
So when we are bringing the application program interface, we are planning to use the Django with the Python. So we can collect all together in one of the window in the APIs. That is
okay.
No, a lot of softwares are there.
Lot.
Okay,
These all are already available models. We are integrating with our own ideas.
Thank you. We'll leave the rest of the question for the time in the break. Who's? Okay. Last question, quickly.
Sorry, okay. One last question. Sorry.
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Just I have a quick question. So what was the prediction accuracy in terms of the percentage? How much is based on your confusion metrics? What was the accuracy?
The accuracy we got 95%.
Sorry?
95.
95?
Yeah.
Even after applying the gradient?
Yeah.
Gradient boosting?
Yeah.
Okay. And the heat map and the kind of illustration, the visualization that you have produced, is it by using any SaaS enterprise miner kind of stuff, or you applied the Python APIs?
A Python API only, but we are going to integrate with other cloud sources. So in future, we are planning to make it.
Okay. And what made you to think about going for this deep learning? Because this is giving you 95% of accuracy. So further, why you are thinking of going for deep learning?
We made it in a future scope. We integrated with this deep learning. So we made it like that.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
4 questions are enough for you. Thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you. Okay, the last but not the least, the title of the presentation, Enhancing Education Through VR, Gamified Team Building Exercise by Hanan An-Na'mani.
Think about the most successful organizations you know. What's the thread that ties their success stories together? It's not always just groundbreaking ideas or cutting-edge technology, yet it's always the team standing behind that organization. Teamwork is the heartbeat of every thriving organization. Yet traditional team building methods, often lack in truly engaging participants as well as enhancing these skills. My name is Haneen Al-Na'mani, graduate of Muscat College, and I'm honored to be here to present my project on gamified team building exercises through VR. So team building is crucial for undergraduates as they prepare themselves for careers that require skills such as communication, collaboration, problem solving, and many more. Yet, traditional group projects often lack in truly engaging these participants, therefore enhancing their skills. Now, this is where my project came through with the idea of team building gamified. Why is it not working? Okay. Okay. So by gamifying team building exercises, the aim was to engage participants more, therefore enhancing their skills further. Okay. So as part of the literature review, it was very important to evaluate and analyze existing efforts in gamifying team building. There are many games that encourage team building, such as Among Us, which introduces deduction as well as analysis skills. The game I Expect You to Die, which I know it sounds morbid, but it introduces problem solving in a very creative way. And finally, the game Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, which helps you work well under pressure as well as communicate very clearly. Now, these games served as inspirations for my game by collectively using all of these skills and putting them in my game, as well as different factors such as the witty and cartoonish graphics that are in Among Us, as well as the storytelling and narration style in the second game, and finally, from the third game, the simplicity and clarity of the controls, as well as the inclusion of a PDF manual. Okay. Now, these games are great examples of team building gamification, although they lack in one aspect, which is they can be very violent in educational settings, which would be inappropriate. The methodology that was used to implement this game was the Agile methodology, which has 4 main factors: the requirements, the design, the development, and the testing phase. Now, in the requirements phase, the game was planned out and, oh my God. So in the requirements phase, the game was planned out and the objectives were created. The objective was to create a very engaging game that will develop these skills for undergraduates. Now, in the design phase is where the 3D assets were created for the game based on the requirements that were set. The layout was created, and this is where the development really began. Now, in the development phase is where the iterative aspect of the Agile methodology becomes very, very clear, due to the fact that the functionalities are created to the 3D assets, and based on errors, the design and the requirements are tweaked. Finally is the testing phase. Okay. This is where potential users use the system and give user feedback. Now, this user feedback will be used to be able to create more. Oh my God. Okay, so the user feedback will be used to further improve the game. Now, when this cycle is repeated until no further tweaks are necessary, meaning that the game has been fully developed. So, the game details. This game was created using Unity and C# coding, and it was made specifically for the MetaQuest 3 headset. This game is created with 3 levels. Level 1 is the maze. Okay, go ahead. Okay, the maze, the cipher, and finally the riddle. Okay. Now the maze encourages problem solving as well as communication, trust, and listening, as the VR player has to navigate through a VR maze using the instructions from their team members. The cipher encourages problem solving in a creative way as well as communication and thinking outside of the box, as the VR player has to arrange a ciphered sentence based on the instructions and the decoding given by their participants. And finally, the riddle is where all of the skills kind of come combined and shine through, as there are so many different complex riddles that have to be solved with each other, or else the game cannot be won. Finally, observational data was collected, as this game, and specifically the cipher level, was introduced in a workshop in Muscat College. Now, this observational data showed that the workshop had the workshop exhibited very low energy at the start. Okay, it exhibited very low energy at the start, but then after introducing the game, the ice was broken and there was a significant increase in comfort levels, meaning more participation, more questions, and further team building skills. Now, there were limitations, even though that the objectives were pretty much met, there were limitations due to time constraints, such as missing game mechanics, limited testing sessions, oh my God, as well as static gameplay. Now, the missing game mechanics like scoring systems as well as a database that will store this progress. Testing sessions should have been concluded so that we can get more user feedback and better enhance the game. And finally, the gameplay is static, meaning you play it once and then it's the same like throughout. But this can all be enhanced in further adjustments. Finally, I think this project shows the significant potential of VR in educational settings, more importantly in team development and refining teamwork skills. Although VR is a revolutionary force, mixed with AI specifically, it could be very, very useful. Finally, thank you for having me in this conference, and thank you to Muscat College for creating this conference. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay. Really excellent. Okay. Okay, questions again? Now you can ask questions. Okay.
Yes, Rahma Al-Mahrooqi here. What ethical consideration should be taken into account when using the VR in education, yani as a student? What are the ethical considerations? Yeah.
I feel like accessing the VR like without having constraints would be unethical due to the many games and stuff that are in VR, such as like YouTube and whatever it is. Any system that are any educational settings have to be supervised and have to belong to the system and requirements. So I think that would be one ethical aspect of it.
Okay, merci.
Thank you.
Are there any other question?
Yes, here.
Okay.
Yes, hi. Yeah, I understand the beauty behind your project, but I have a question when it comes to, as myself, I'm a gamer, you could say. You said that the experience of the game will be almost every time you enter the game, it will have the same experience, which is honestly sometimes as a gamer, it makes you quit so often. So what do you plan to do with this?
Okay, so due to time constraints and this being my graduation project, I only had limited time just to show the prototype of it all. But it's the concept that I was talking about of gamifying team building experiences. So when it comes to this game specifically, that's definitely a factor to consider, making the sentences change, making the maze change, and making the riddle, more interactive and more intuitive. So yes, thank you for your question.
Okay. No more questions? Okay.
Thank you very much, Haneen. I'm really proud of you. I'm her mom, by the way, so I'll ask the difficult question. So, are you thinking of developing this game to a further level and, in fact, maybe making an application and distributing it out there so it is something real, not just a prototype?
For sure, I'd say this graduation project started a passion for me in developing games, and this can definitely be a path to consider. I'm sure that this would be useful in many different industries and not just in educational industries. Therefore, I would be looking forward to developing it further if there was a chance to. Thank you.
Any other question, or shall we call it off?
Assalamu alaikum. I'm from Muscat College also. and I'm also proud to be here. First of all, I would like to thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
And your project. All the best. However, I have a question. Do you think VR can affect the behavior of our children or our students or our generation? This is the first.
So yeah, shall I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that VR is the future. Just like phones had a outburst in our society, I think VR will be the next thing, especially that Apple has a hand in it as well now. So I think that controlling what is shown on the VR and introducing educational and learning games in it will definitely change our society for the better. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Haneen. Excellent. Very well done.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we reach the conclusion of this session. I will let the organizer to conclude. Thank you very much.
A very intensive session. The authors and presenters took us to different worlds. Really, I learned a lot today. Thank you so much. Always, I like to take this opportunity to highlight Haneen's presentation, how it was very strong. Alhamdulillah, in Muscat College, we always have very good presentation from our students in international conference. Last year, we have more than 20 papers presented in international conference by our students, jointly with our staff. This reflects how we are working with our students strongly to foster their critical thinking and take them to the real life during their journey of study. Alhamdulillah, we are keen on this, and the number of our presentations and papers in article, even in Scopus and Q1, Q2 are increasing year after year. Thank you so much, Haneen. Thank you, our students and our strong staff. We'll take we have no words to say, and to thank Dr. Ali, Professor Ali, for his extraordinary chairing to the session and well organized and controlling the session perfectly. Thank you. Highly appreciate Professor Ali. Yeah. I'd like to invite Dr. Matthew Phillip, the organizing chair of the conference, the stage, to provide a moment to Dr. Ali. Thank you. Please, Dr. Ali, join us.
As we near the end of this morning's proceeding, it is my privilege to invite Dr. Matthew Phillip, the conference organizing chair at Muscat College, to deliver his vote of thanks. Please welcome Dr. Matthew.
Assalamu alaikum. Honorable speakers, dignitaries, participants, colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Before we break for lunch, I'd like to express our heartfelt appreciation to everyone who has contributed to making this conference a success. First and foremost, we are incredibly honored to have Her Excellency, Professor Rahma Al-Mahrooqi, the Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation, as the Chief Patron. Her Excellency's esteemed presence truly made a significant difference to the occasion. We thank Her Excellency for inaugurating the conference and attending the inaugural session. We would also like to thank Sheikh Dr. Ghalib Al-Hosni, Chairperson of Board of Trustees at Muscat College, for delivering the welcome address. His contribution have been invaluable in making this conference possible. We sincerely thank Sheikh Ahmad Al-Ghazali, Chairman of Muscat College, and Board of Directors for their continuous support and fostering excellence in higher education. Thank you for your valuable guidance and support in making this conference well organized and successful. We sincerely thank the Board of Trustees at Muscat College for their steadfast support in making this conference successful. We would like to thank our keynote speaker, Mr. Sahran Al-Ghanami, for inspiring us on the national priority of Oman Vision 2040 for the future of scientific research and education. We also thank Dr. Osama Al-Gol for your thought-provoking insights into the role of AI in creating an inclusive educational environment. Thank you for coming all the way from Qatar with your family members. We sincerely thank MADA Centre Qatar for collaborating on the conference. We are also honored to have Ms. Amani Al-Tamimi, the Digital Accessibility Director at MADA Centre, to offer the felicitation. Our special thanks to Dr. Ashraf Othman for his excellent coordination and partnership in making this conference successful. Our session chairs play a crucial role in guiding the discussions, ensuring smooth flow of sessions, and keeping the energy high throughout the conference. Session 1 was completed and chaired by Dr. Ali Al-Badi, Dean of Gulf College. Session 2 and 3 will be conducted right after the lunch, chaired by Dr. Mona Ismail, Dean of Scientific College, and Dr. Uwais Hussain, Acting Dean of Masoon College. We thank Dr. Ali Al-Badi, Dr. Mona Ismail, and Dr. Uwais Hussain for chairing the sessions. Dr. Abdullah Al-Asri, Dr. Stephen, Mr. Jamal Nasser, Dr. Sharmina will chair tomorrow's sessions. We thank them in advance. We are also thankful to the session coordinators whose hard work ensured each session's success. We received more than 150 papers. The reviewers of the conference have ensured that only the best research shared, and we greatly appreciate your time and expertise. Thank you, reviewers. We extend our gratitude to all our presenters. Your exceptional research has been highlight of the conference and has greatly contributed to the success of this event. We thank all the participants from various higher education institutions in Oman and abroad, as well as from other organizations and ministries. Your contributions are deeply appreciated. We thank our sponsors, Al-Kanjir Oasis Energy LLC and Omantel for their generous support, which made this event possible. We thank the organizing, technical, marketing, and publicity committees for their relentless support, attention to details, hard work, ensuring that this conference runs smoothly. We truly appreciate your dedication. I would also like to express our deepest appreciation to all our colleagues at Muscat College and our students for their support. A special thanks to our MC, Lujena Al-Labri. Thank you very much, Lujena, for the wonderful MC. We sincerely thank the management and staff of Intercity Hotel Muscat for making all the arrangements and ensuring that everything runs smoothly. We are grateful for your effort. We appreciate all the media partners for assisting in promoting the conference. Your support has greatly enhanced the event's impact. We will now break for lunch, and I would like to extend my best wishes for rest of the conference this afternoon and tomorrow. Thank you and enjoy your lunch.
Thank you, Dr. Matthew, for your heartfelt words and for your tireless effort in organizing this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a break for lunch. Please enjoy the meal, recharge, and get ready for the exciting sessions ahead. We will proceed at 3 p.m.